and welcome back to another Nextlander podcast. Here we are, taking it out for May, taking May out to the cleaners.
What am I taking out?
Taking out all of May. Taking out... What
You're whipping it out.
You're whipping out May.
For May.
Just put it right there on the table. And
it really just kind of came and went. Like I wrote exactly that in the patron poll yesterday. Like it was just like, yeah, it was yesterday, it was April. Next week it's Summer Game Fest.
I think it came and went because I feel like it was pretty eventful.
It was like an interstitial.
Yeah.
It was like,
yeah, there's also that.
It was like
this whole year has felt like that.
You know,
also,
yeah. I like May. May's a great month.
Every week this year is a week where decades happen.
That's right. Every day a decade. Yeah, so May, we loved you, but sorry to see you go. I like
I'm
May.
not inclined to say loved about much of anything this year, but I'll say it wasn't the worst month.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst one as far as they go. You have that going for you.
Good game month.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah,
April and May were both very good game months.
April, a lot of good games coming out.
Totally. I have my dog is going off today to go get a consultation for his surgery. I'm very happy about that. Hopefully,
I'm so ready for Kirby to start recovering.
Me too.
I want the best for him, man.
I do too. Such a good dog, and I'm tired of sleeping on the couch. And I'm tired.
I'm not laughing because it is sad. Like I don't want, I understand you're being disruptive. Whatever. It's just very funny that you have to sleep on the couch because your dog is laid up.
Yeah. It's one of those things where I've tried a couple of times. Sometimes if he goes, so we brought his little bed. We have these beanbag chairs he likes sleeping on in the attic usually. They're not made for dogs, but he loves sleeping on them. So we brought it down to the first floor. And if I go upstairs to go to bed before he has transitioned to his beanbag, then like a half hour later, it's the saddest dog whine from the bottom of the steps. But he's got like his toy in his mouth and he's just like, I'm like, okay, I'm coming down, you knucklehead. Yeah, whatever. The guy just needs to be able to get upstairs.
Seriously.
We all?
Yes.
Don't we all?
I really like this idea of calling dogs guys.
This
They're
guy,
just
come on,
guys.
this guy.
He's kind of a big guy.
This guy needs his knees done. He's got to go get his knees.
He's the birthday dog. Hey.
Yeah. Hey, birthday dog, go get your knees done.
I love that guy.
I call Zeke Mr. Guy all the time. That's one of my pet names for him. Hey, Mr. Guy, how you doing?
Zeke's definitely like a guy. Zeke.
Yeah, he's a total dude.
He's a dude, bro. I have been debating, and I'll put this out here now because I think I'm just going to retire from Nextlander and try and service old amplifiers. I think that's
Right
fuck,
now?
man, that sounds awesome.
That sounds great.
Can I come?
I have I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to sell the house and move into a small apartment, and my family
or garage space.
And my family will have to support me. But I think this is the path.
You finally found your happiness.
Fixing stuff for a living.
The thing I realized,
sounds all right.
Yeah, I love all that stuff. I love just tinkering around. I don't think I'd actually want to do it for money because I think once you do something for money and you have to do it and not mess it up, it changes the dynamics of it.
Oh
right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I realized
how many times could you just be like, sorry, I made it worse.
I know.
Rather than better.
Well, that's kind of where I live now is like, hey, do you care if this thing breaks more? And if somebody's like, no, I'm going to throw it out anyway. And they're like, oh, I'll take a look at it. All right. And
why not?
No charge. But I do realize, and I think this is an important thing to keep in mind in social media and YouTube land, right? And take it from an approaching 50 guy here who has a lot of hobbies. I think it's important to realize that sometimes when you're watching the electronics person, or you're watching the baker, or you're watching the guy who collects Transformers, or you're watching the watch repair guy, a lot of times they have put all their points into that.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Right.
And they don't.
You're more of a generalist.
They don't also then have a part of their house that is dedicated to woodworking or something else. And I think it's important to remember that when you're like, wow, you know what I really need? All that huge Mr. Carlson bench or, all these things. And it's like, no, to get that, I really should shed everything else, right? Like, and I don't want to do that. I want to be a generalist. So I think it's important.
That's fine.
why amplifiers in particular?
Oh, I think they're just fun. I think one very good reason is a lot of old amplifiers use parts that are serviceable. Like it's a serviceable thing, older amplifiers. And two, it's cool when it works, right? You have a thing that doesn't make sound, and then you have a thing that makes sound. And I think that's a pretty cool thing to have.
Agreed.
I think vintage amps and vintage audio equipment.
Yeah. Now you're getting into it.
I think I don't necessarily. I have one older receiver that I've never serviced or done anything with. I've been working on my vintage stuff, my Klipsch 2.1 Pro Media speakers that I've been repairing on and off, and I currently have opened up. And I from like whatever 1990.
Are those PC?
Yeah.
Are those for a PC?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. I've said it probably many times. I'm still using my Cambridge Soundworks cubes.
Oh my gosh.
From 99 or 2000, I can't remember exactly when, but it was around the time Quake 3 was new.
Hell yeah.
Like, since I was in college, I've had these speakers for half of my life.
That's amazing. Have you ever thought about just replacing them? Or
no, they still get... The only thing I ever replace is the little inline volume control. The speakers and the subwoofer has been powered on continuously for about 25 years.
That's great.
And it's still just going.
That is some...
they used to make shit to last.
Well, these Klipsch ones I've repaired a couple of times, and this time I'm having a real go of it, and it's kind of driving me bananas, but I always use it as an opportunity to try and learn some more stuff, and I've never been great at reading schematics. Like, I'm okay at reading schematics, but I can follow a schematic, but I don't always know what the stuff does on it. And I'm using this opportunity to try and learn a little bit more about what it does. I think it's a fun thing to know, schematics.
Yeah. Amps are interesting. Like they're interesting devices. I play an acoustic instrument, so I have never gotten very good at learning how they work or what they do. But, having played with enough guitar players over the years, you pick up some things. I was just watching a video actually like last night that was check out our gear video for a particular band. In this case, it's the band Sun, which if you don't know anything about them, they are named after the amplifier, the Sun amps.
Oh, that's funny.
And their whole thing is they are basically a couple of guys who just compose epic things out of distortion.
Oh.
Like there's no drums, there's no real backing accompaniment. Occasionally there's vocals. It is literally distorted noise as grand composition, and they have walls of these Sun amps all behind them, and they're not recent amps. They have a special guy apparently they go to get all their shit repaired because that stuff requires a little bit of specialty. And the whole time I'm just like, I don't understand any of this. This sounds fascinating.
I mean, what was the golden era of amps? Like the 50s or so? Like is it like guitars where like
60s? I feel like 60s and 70s.
All the real guitar heads will be like, the ones made in the 50s are the best.
So here's a funny, silly thing. I think it's another one of those "what's the best year of video game" things, and it's
or
it's when you were 16.
Yeah, so that's really or 12. I think is generally. Seems like to me around the time like whatever was coming out around the time you hit puberty is just always the best.
I have this old Marshall. I've told this story before. It was I bought it from layaway when I was like 15 or 16. This Valve State 8080 amp, and it was one of those things where you put the money down and you pay every month or whatever. You go in when you have money and you buy it. And I think it was from Sam Ash, and I've had it since I was like 15. And I thought it sounded cool because the distortion on it had that real 90s metal sound on it.
That crunch.
And then I remember looking it up like 15 years ago, like mid 2000s or something. And people were like, oh man, yeah, that thing's real trash. It's got that real 90s metal sound, right?
Metal pedal.
And yeah, right. Like my hyper metal pedal. And then I looked it up recently and people are like, the Valve State 8080, it's awesome vintage gear. It's got that 90s metal sound. And people are like, this is is it the worst amp ever or the best amp ever? So it's one of those things where I think it is in the eye of the beholder and trends change. And if
the ear of the beholder.
Yeah,
really
the ear of the beholder.
Depends on who you ask and when you ask.
Yes. My dad had it still has like an old Fender Princeton reverb amp that I grew up playing from the 60s. And that thing was a death trap. And every time you'd plug your guitar in, you could make this ground loop. I think it was a ground loop with your microphone, and you'd get a horrible shock if your lips ever touched the microphone. It would just complete this circuit. And we always used to use a stick to like turn it on and off. But I bet that amp like cleaned up and nice is somebody's like favorite amp ever. Right? Like,
totally.
you know,
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, yeah, they really ruined it when they put safety into it and they grounded it. Yeah, I think electronics are super fun. A lot of it's beyond me. I always get very fascinated when I look through electronics and start to figure out how people and why people do things. And I'm like, man, humans, there's some smart people out there who figured some shit out with how to make this stuff work. And then sometimes I just want the thing to work and not understand how it goes. So yeah, tune in for my new old man electronics talk. There's plenty of YouTube electronics channels out there. I love when I see vintage electronics people that are like, you're like 22 working on this old amp, and I'm like,
whole new generations.
Yeah.
I think it was the first electronics flea market I went to a couple years ago. We talk about that thing on the time. Will and I go to that thing frequently. It's in the South Bay here. There was like a 10-year-old kid, like voice had not broken yet, who was like very enthusiastically rooting through a box of very old mice.
Oh, wow.
And like pulled one out. It was like some like Microsoft IntelliMouse from 20 years ago or something, and like called it out by name to his dad. Or something.
Found the IntelliMouse,
it was something like that, and it was very much one of those moments for me of like, oh, okay, cool, yes, there are some, probably not many, but some kids even today still care about this shit. Like,
I think I kept my IntelliMouse somewhere, my like silver one.
That was a strong, man.
That thing was
a formative mouse.
I bet that thing sucks now. I bet the DP, like the resolution on that.
Like sensors and stuff like that have gotten polling rates, all that stuff have gotten way better.
Way better.
I mean, that mouse changed everything.
It was an awesome mouse at the time.
It was like everybody's first optical mouse.
God, yes. I don't want to. We should get into the real podcast, but like,
this is the real podcast. What are you talking about?
I know that people listening to this know this because we have a cool crowd out there, but man, remember cleaning the ball in your mouse, having to take that stupid thing out and that little clean the little wheel. It always had the little gunk on it.
Yeah,
that sucked.
It did.
That was so bad.
It sure did.
Let's never go back to that.
Yeah,
it sure did.
And laser mice were so futuristic, like
they sure were.
And I was like, wow, look at these! I'm gonna buy one of these. And I think trackballs are one of the few technologies I look back and I'm like, yeah, that sucked. We should never go back to that. Now,
agreed.
The reverse one, the trackball that is like the ball you spin.
Oh, the thumb ball?
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, plenty of people swear by that kind of trackball to this day.
Yeah,
that was the future.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
That's a ball I can get behind.
Yeah, don't flip it over.
I mean, you can see, a little finger adjustment. You could get very fine with it.
Yeah.
I think some people that do like editing work and stuff like that,
like their little
swear by the trackball rather than the mouse.
I think a trackball is good. I think the worst, I think the mouse with the ball is bad. I also really hated, I don't think they even do it anymore because it's mostly trackpads on laptops. The nubbin, remember the nubbin on the middle of the keyboard?
The ball, the laptop ball.
Well,
like
it wasn't even the ball. It was like
I know it's a little.
It's like it's the ThinkPad special. It's the little ThinkPad nipple, basically.
First laptop my dad had one of those.
I just saw last week. I saw somebody is making an external one of those, like a standalone one of those, like USB to plug in.
Did we run out of things to make?
Some people love that thing. And want a freestanding one for their desk.
Hey, want what you want, man, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, this is what I'm saying now. Like, look, join me. There's never been a time. I mean, I'm sure the vintage amp stuff is not the way to go. I should probably learn how to repair old iPods, given where I feel like the trend is going, right? Like, people just want electronics from the 90s right now, and I don't know how to do any of that stuff. But, it's just fun. I like keeping stuff out of the landfill. We've talked about this before. Yep. I also just like understanding a little bit more about electricity because it's weird and it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
You like to have fun. I get it.
You know me. It's a party.
It's your idea of a good time.
I like to have fun. Anyway, video games. Today we're here to talk. What I will segue with is, I've been spending a lot of time thinking about electronics and doing that stuff and reading and maybe less playing video games and more going and being like, man, this is just a fun way to spend time between Saros runs.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? Let me wrap this up.
Okay.
If we could make this podcast just a little more old man for a minute.
Please.
Your lament about being a generalist. I mean, you know the jack of all trades saying.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard the full version of that phrase? Which I'm not sure if I've gotten mixed answers or signals about whether
it's official.
The phrase actually started out this way and got shortened over time, or whether people tacked this on recently.
Give it to me.
Jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one.
I've never heard that. That sounds like something the jack of all trades people.
You know,
yeah.
Sometimes
the jack of all trades lobby is out there.
Of course. But sometimes it's also useful to know a little about a lot.
Oh yeah. Yes. Like general handyman.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's kind of it's useful to be able to do like something in a lot of different domains as opposed to just a lot in one.
Yes, I think knowing your limits is the thing you need to do. So I would never wouldn't charge somebody to fix a thing, but general handyman, I can come and hey, you need a light switch in your place. You could do that. I know enough about it to not get us all killed. I hope.
Yeah, like I'm not even trying to monetize it. It's just nice in your own life, Like it's just nice going about your daily stuff to know how to do a lot of things to some degree of competence.
Yes, and to another extent, to be informed if you have to deal with an expert, let's say, to have a general basis. All right. Before we get into the Saros business, there's a couple of other games here I would like to hear about that you guys have spent some time in. Let's kick it off with Yerba Buena. That's probably the one that I'm most curious about.
Yeah, it'll be short. I didn't play a ton of it. Didn't know about this game until we did the Planorama for this month. It is like your classic first-person puzzle game with a doohickey.
Okay. Like
it's a portal. It's not a portal like in the sense that you have a portal gun, but you have a gun. You have a gadget.
You have a science gun.
Yes, you have a science. Yes, exactly. It is a first-person narrative puzzle game with a science gun.
Okay.
Yes.
And in this case, the science gun can take the motion from one object and apply that motion to a different object.
Yes.
So like right there in the first major puzzle they hit you with, just the best example I can give you is cars driving by. You can zap the car to take the directional motion of that car, slap it on the front of a building, and then the whole front of the building comes sliding off in the same direction the car was driving.
So one of the questions we had when we looked at it in the Planorama is the implementation. Can you do that with anything?
No, absolutely not. This is 100%. This game is like charmingly low budget. I'm going to say kindly, like it feels pretty low budget in some ways. We've talked recently about the subject of government subsidy of game development, and there was some German institute on the front of this game that I wish I had the name of in front of me because it was some sort of like military and aeronautics government ministry that seems to have put money into this game, which I thought was funny. But anyway, it is pretty low budget, and so yes, it is like every level, at least from the little I've seen, is like okay, there are 6 or 8 different things that are eligible to be zapped to put motion on them, and there's like about an equivalent number of things you can take motion. It's not everything. It's not
right,
because I got excited when I saw this game and I was like, oh man, can you just go buck wild, making everything in this environment fly and turn and flip everywhere? And so far it's very limited. Like they have very specific solutions to puzzles that they want you to, or there might be multiple solutions, but it's still like pretty rigidly like, okay, here are the dozen things you have to work with in this scene.
And it's in San Francisco?
It is 1976 San Francisco, which is this game is trying to be the most San Francisco I think I have ever seen. In the
That's
first
saying something. There's a lot of San Francisco.
In the first like 3 minutes in the intro, this dude is just like, it's like, oh man, those bikers that out there in the hate really have it out for me. I got sideswiped on Stanyan last week. Oh. Anyway, did you see that interview on KQED last week?
Oh, wow. Just
like, this was like, oh, I went for a job interview on Valencia, but like, it was just like on and on. Yeah. It's really funny.
KQED is such a specific reference.
It's a good drop.
Literally, the guy I know who was doing that punk museum thing, I think is a news reporter for KQED.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. KQED rocks.
For having lived here for over 2 decades, it was just reference after reference after reference constantly.
Did you like it, or was it too much?
It's cute.
Okay.
It's also weirdly anachronistic though, because it's set in 76 and there's still like hippie speak, but also like the villain is like an evil tech mogul is how they describe him. Who's like trying to trying to build like office buildings on a beloved park or something. But like,
I mean, Silicon Valley
there
existed
weren't
then. It was just
really
different.
there weren't tech moguls in '76. Like
the
mid
money
'80s,
wasn't
sure.
quite there yet.
Mid '80s, sure,
right.
but you know, it's like even like Apple was not a thing in the
Right.
public consciousness at this point, or Microsoft. Like,
Right.
it was not. It's like kind of actually blending a lot of different eras together with bell bottoms. It feels like, but whatever, it's fine.
That's fun.
It's cool. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's pretty light. I
I was
know
very
that
curious about it. I'm
Yeah,
but so far early on, you like its core mechanic. You think it is?
it's okay.
implemented well?
It's
Okay.
pretty. It's like tricky. What's the word I'm looking for? Trickier or more complex. Like the solutions are not super obvious. I will say. Like
Okay.
even like pretty much right off the bat, past the tutorial, like it's not immediately obvious. Oh, I need to use the car on this staircase and then use the washing machine on the sign or whatever. Like you kind of have to really stare and think about what they want you to do. It's not obvious at all. The one other thing is it's a little unhinged.
Oh.
About like when I ripped the facade off that building for the first time and had it, and it pulls like half the building off in that case, which is kind of cool because it pulls like the front of the building and half the rooms attached to it, so you can like go up in this cross section of the building, like up the stairs to the third floor while it's like half out in the middle of the street. But when I pulled the building front off, there happened to be a car and a pedestrian passing by.
Oh.
And they full on just got physicsed the fuck out of the way.
That's fun.
Ooh.
And like the pedestrians just go into a real aggressive ragdoll when they get smacked by a moving object, like a
Right.
building. And then immediately just get up and go about their business as if nothing happened, which is
sure.
like really mechanically very funny. It's interesting. It's like a
low
fairly-
budget charmer, maybe.
yeah, fairly slight so far, but it's got heart.
It's Yerba Buena, $25 on the Xbox, PS5, and PC. All right, Alex,
Yes,
you have gone into Lego Batman,
I'm Batman.
Legacy
Yeah,
of the
I-
Dark Knight.
I almost fired that up. Like the word of mouth is like crazy strong for that game, I feel like.
Yes, and I will say that is why I picked it up, because people were talking a whole bunch of yang about how this felt like, the secret fifth Arkham game or something like that. Let me be absolutely clear. This is a Lego video game. They have not that has
Okay.
not changed drastically. This is still very much a simplified version of what a lot of those Arkham games were doing. It has the Batman combat, but it's not that tough. It has all the Batman open world trimmings, but it's all scaled a little down and it's not super complicated to do anything in it. But it has a real flavor to it that I think is more spirited than I feel like some of the other recent Lego stuff that I've played has been. Which is to say that it is absolutely mashing up all the Batmans into as many different ways as it possibly can. Like the opening is very much the Nolan Batman Begins. Go hang out with Ra's al Ghul for a bit. Like go to fucking Tibet or whatever the hell where you were where that shit happened. But then also, like, Batman's parents get killed by Jack Napier Joker.
Yeah.
And then, like, your Batmobile, the first one that's by default is the Matt Reeves Batmobile. So
Yeah, like
there's
I
a
saw-
bunch of different Batmans.
I saw a Lego rendering of the Jack Nicholson fucking up an art gallery scene.
Yes.
So like hearing about that kind of mishmash kind of an extra makes me want to check this out.
Are they colliding? Like, do you get Jack Nicholson Joker and like Heath Ledger Joker in the same game, or are they
Not
picking-
yet. If that is in there, I've not run into that, but I do feel like they are letting you choose what aesthetics you want to put on certain things. Like you can choose from different Batmobiles, you can choose from different outfits, you can dress your cohort up in different. Like the only companion I've got so far is Jim Gordon, but there are outfits for Jim Gordon. Like you can make him into different versions of Jim Gordon.
And then is it basically doing beats from the movies, or is it just general crime beats around town?
At least from what I've played, it's a mixture of stuff from the movies. Like the whole, training sequence from Batman Begins is rendered somewhat accurately. Others just playing around with the ideas and not doing anything too adherent to the actual film script. I mean, it's all goofy, and even when they are doing the serious Ra's al Ghul shit, like dudes are still like ninjas are just like falling all over themselves, like slipping on banana peels, like falling out of windows. Like it's still that slapstick goofy shit around all the edges.
I feel like the idea has been gaining a little currency recently that maybe Batman Begins is actually the best of the Nolan movies.
It is.
I've always felt that way. 100%.
Yeah, me too.
Well, okay, I should just fucking come out and say I never saw the third one.
The third one
So I
isn't as
can't- I
bad
can't-
as some people make it out
Yeah.
to be. It's not a great movie, but it's got moments.
But I honestly think Begins is the most enduring of those, at least of the two I've seen.
I think if The Dark Knight did not have all the Two-Face shit in it, it's not because I think Aaron Eckhart is bad or anything. It's that character did not need to be in that movie. I think it would probably be my favorite. But as it is, that movie is a little overstuffed in a way that Batman Begins is very much not.
Yeah, I like Dark Knight, to be clear.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Is Batman Begins the one where he's in prison? He's like in the underground.
At the beginning.
He's got to like work his way out.
Yes.
Well, they do more of that in 3 also. Like,
Oh,
there's a
they
whole
do.
thing with
Okay.
that and Bane and the fucking, pit prison and all that shit.
Okay,
Begins
3 is
like,
Bane?
he has to like fight in this. It's not like prison in the sense that he's in a cell. I don't remember.
No, it's
Did
like
I
a
recall?
mine or
There
something.
is a part where he goes to prison in Batman
Yeah, it's-
Begins, but it is not the extended bit they do in Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, it's right at the beginning. That's where the flower pollen blinding you stuff comes in and everything.
Which one does he climb out? Is that
That's 3.
Oh, that's 3. Okay. Which one has the train with like the EMP or something
That's
on it?
1. That's Begins.
Fuck. All right. Which one is 2? You said Two Faces in 2?
Joker and Two-Face. And also,
Okay.
we finally got rid of the love interest lady character.
Okay. Man, all right. Maybe I should rewatch them at some point. How was that was the latest one with gosh, what is
Pattinson?
That's the Matt Reeves
That's
one.
the Matt Reeves one.
Yeah.
By all accounts, good.
Yeah, that's been on my list. That movie is 3 hours, though.
Jeez.
That's been on my list to see for a while, but that's a tall order, I feel like.
Are they continuing with that? Like
Supposedly,
line?
but there is also going to be a DCU version of Batman, which I assume that Clayface movie is going to be in that universe.
The horror movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So far, Alex, Lego Batman. I've played like. It's hard for me to keep track. When the kids were young, we played a lot of the Lego Batman stuff. There were so many.
Those weren't doing Arkham style shit. Like they were doing the
No.
movies and cartoon stuff and whatever, and they were certainly retellings of some of those things, but it wasn't doing it in like an open world environment from what I remember and trying to do some of the like it just this feels more like Arkham City in the way that it's laid out. Again, it is the shrunk down kids version of Arkham City.
And you can drive in the Batmobile 2 places.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think you can pick which Batmobile you're driving.
Yes, it starts out with a version of the Matt Reeves Batmobile, but like there's ones you can get as part of content packs, and there are other like unlockable, I think, versions as well.
What are you playing it on?
I'm playing on PS5.
Okay, it seems like it looks quite nice. Like it's an Unreal 5 game. Like I've seen a lot of people talking about how good it looks.
It's really stupid looking at a Lego game in that kind of fidelity. To be honest with you, I'm not mad at it. It's just ridiculous.
They're shiny bricks. There's a lot of opportunity for lighting effects there.
My partner still can't get over the part where like parts of the environment are very much not Lego. She's like, "Why isn't that Lego? Why isn't that Lego? Like, why is that dirt? Why isn't that regular Lego?" I'm like,
I don't know.
You know why? Because that makes the Lego stuff stand out more when it's against a real environment. That's why.
I think it might be a little too much if everything was Lego.
What are they doing for Batman voice? Like, where are they splitting the difference?
So I haven't gotten. I thought there was some like, fucking Will Arnett style Batman in there, but I haven't gotten to that part yet. Right now, it is young Batman, and it kind of sounds like Yuri Lowenthal, but I'm not sure that it is.
Okay.
Every modern Batman is just doing Michael Keaton, right?
Modern Batman.
Like everybody is doing that really growly, guttural
Oh.
sound when your Batman is full on the Keaton invention, right?
I mean,
I don't know how Pattinson does it. Again, I have not seen that movie.
Pattinson does the growl as well, but it's a different version of the growl. I would say that because I'm just trying to think what other Batmans were there vocally besides.
I mean, it's really just Adam West.
And Adam West.
I'm not saying there
West
weren't
literally
others,
just
but-
dropped one octave. That was it.
Not even an octave. I don't know if we give him that much credit. Bless Adam West. But like the worst
But Conroy too did he definitely had a gruffer version.
He was more just like stern sounding.
Yeah,
but
his
not
Bruce
like growling.
Wayne was very similar.
I think his Bruce Wayne was the put on voice though. Like I think that was him doing the character. Was his version of Bruce Wayne was what he thought a Playboy sounded like.
I feel like when he was Bruce Wayne, at least when he was talking to non-villains, his Bruce Wayne and his Batman just kind of sounded the same to me in my memory. I should go back and watch some more. The worst was the modern DC one that's not Pattinson. Batman versus Superman.
Oh, Ben Affleck.
Oh, Ben Affleck. Yes, his boy.
Affleck.
It was so hard to like just take seriously. I think that was my least favorite of the
Shay Matheson, by the way. Sorry,
the voice,
Shay Matheson is the one who plays Batman in this.
Oh, okay. Who is that? I don't know who that is.
Voice actor.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know this guy very well at all. It's just
not
that he is the
notable
one doing
like
it.
Batman voice actor. Just
No,
voice
I don't
actor.
think so.
Okay. So Batman, Lego Batman, Legacy of the Dark Knight.
Let me put it this way. I put like 5 hours into it, and normally I don't do that with a lot of Lego games. Like, I think that it's pretty fun if you go in with the understanding that it is not radically changing how a Lego game plays and what kind of it does have difficulty options. You can play it on the hardest if you feel like it's too easy, but I think you just need to understand it is scaled for a slightly younger audience.
Those games are okay though.
Yeah,
Like I played that most recent Lego Star Wars collection that has like levels based on all 9 movies or whatever.
Yeah.
Played a fair amount of that with my nephews, and I was like, all right, for a kids game that I'm mostly playing just to spend time with family, like this is actually totally fine.
again, the Lego developers, TT, Shrivels Tailors, whatever they're calling themselves these days, they're one of the only studios that understands kids' games don't have to be idiotic. Like, you can be silly and stupid with it, but you can also still make a pretty decent one of those games, whatever you're doing.
That was always the Pixar philosophy, right? Like, this is a kids movie that also can appeal to adults. It doesn't have to be either or.
That game is $70. Lego
Yes.
Batman game available on the PS5, the Xbox, or the PC. We'll see what happens to TT or Traveler's Tales. I guess come the future and see what happens to all of Warner Brothers games. I
imagine if this game is doing well, that will probably help their cause in the grand scheme of things.
I'm still just very curious to know what happens if and when Skydance takes over Warner Brothers, if they just keep Warner Brother games as a going thing, or they splinter it off into something else. We will see. TBD on that one. And TBD for the rest of the games. Actually, the D is decided. It's going to be after the break. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with some more games after this. This week's show is brought to you by Factor. Brad Shoemaker.
Hi. Hello.
There are certain things that define me. I like to think that I am generally an extremely handsome person who enjoys a good time and loves to eat.
I've been around you eating enough to attest.
I love to eat. The part of eating in my mind, it takes up so much space. The part that I don't want to think about is what am I going to eat and how am I going to prepare it. But you know who's got my back?
Who's that?
Factor.
Oh.
Yes, you may have heard of them. If you've listened to this podcast, you've probably heard of Factor.
We can stop playing characters now.
That's right. You know the drill.
Y'all know what? Food in the mail.
You know Factor. Factor has meals built around your goals, whether that's weight loss, overall nutrition, more protein, or GLP-1 support. For strength and workout recovery, check out Factor's Muscle Pro collection. Grrr is what I'll say.
I started to do my best macho man, but after 3 hours of podcast recording, it might not be the best idea.
The voice just doesn't want to do it. Factor, you know it, fresh, never frozen, over 100 rotating weekly meals, including globally inspired flavors like Mediterranean and Asian, so there's always something new to look forward to. You know the deal. Factor, you sign up, you get your meals, you put them in the microwave or however you want to cook it, and they're ready for you. You don't have to think about it. You get a nice, delicious meal. You eat it. You're no longer hungry. You move on with your life. The things that you want to do with your life. How can you get on with your life? Well, head to factormeals.com/Nextlander50 off and use code Nextlander50 off to get 50% off and free daily greens per box with new subscription only while supplies last until September 27th, 2026. See website for more details. Thank you, Brad Shoemaker.
Thank you.
And thank you, Factor. This week's show is brought to you by Beta Hat. Alex and Brad, did you ever play a video game?
Maybe.
Yeah, probably saw someone play one, once in a while. Yeah,
I hear it's very big these days.
Yeah.
Watching people play games.
And it can be frustrating sometimes when you're watching somebody play a game or actually playing a game and being like, man, that is who designed this thing? How did this make it through some kind of process?
Who thought this was a good idea?
Words
I'm sure I've said to myself before.
The answer is you.
The answer could be you. So Beta Hat is a company that is run by a friend of ours and ex-coworker, Stan Kwan. Let me just give you a second here in this brief ad to say Stan is one of the people who inherited the responsibility of managing Giant Bomb when we moved over to CBS/CNET, right after the Whiskey Media sale. Stan was awesome. He's one of the few people who actually understood what Giant Bomb was about. And now he runs a company that tries to understand or put developers in touch with people who will play their games to understand what is making them tick and makes the game tick. He basically runs focus groups.
Yeah. You've heard of a focus group. It's where they put you in a room, they give you a product, and they say, what do you think about it?
Yeah, and we've talked with Stan about this, and we've talked with him before this opportunity even came up. He runs focus groups for all sorts of companies, very big ones, games that we can't mention here that you've heard of. And he basically came to us and said, I need good people. I need people that know what they're talking about because these developers are actually listening to the feedback they're getting. And when the feedback is bad, the developers are then listening to bad feedback. Your audience knows what they are talking about. He knows the Giant Bomb audience, knows that these are people who are way into games and are knowledgeable. So
how can I get in on this, Vinny?
You can get in on the focus groups and play tests and do surveys and all this stuff by either heading to betahatrc.com. That's betahatrc.com. And when you sign up there, tell them Nextlander sent you. Or if you want to head over to our Discord channel, the Nextlander Discord, you can go and see an announcement we put up, and that'll have more instructions about how you can get alerts and updates during this campaign when Beta Hat has a new focus group or new announcement to go up. So betahatrc.com, or you can head over to our Discord and you can check out the announcement over there. Remember, tell them Nextlander sent you and say hi to Matt, Rory, and Stan when you're over there. Thanks, Beta Hat. And we are back. Okay. So my time was mostly spent Sarosing.
Okay.
I think,
you think it was? I mean, wait, do you know where you were? What's going on?
This is what I told me. I trust the voices.
Okay.
Yeah.
You shouldn't.
Yes. I think minus any big swerve, and this game could have it. I'm not familiar with the Housemarque style when it comes to twists and swerves and bosses on bosses on bosses. Could be on the last boss. Now,
okay.
If it were a Final Fantasy game, I'd say, like, look, this looks like the last boss, but I probably got at least 4 more bosses to go. At the end, I can't go anymore on the tech tree or the tree. There's nothing. I can't go further anymore. There's no mystery item that says defeat whatever, and you'll move on. I think I'm ready also to be done.
Okay.
And I think because now that I'm invested in the story and I want resolution, but I think I've got a lot of what happened. I think I've got the framework of what happened here. I want resolution. And now I'm just in the process of doing like half-hour runs to go beat the boss. I think I'm ready. Or doing 45 to 60-minute runs if I want to go backtrack a bit.
Okay, I was going to ask if that's 30 minutes from the closest fast travel to the boss possible.
Depends. So there was a boss before the one I'm on. And I'll give a minor spoiler warning here, or I'll just put the general spoiler. Hey, spoiler warning right here. We're going to talk about some Saros stuff that you might not have gotten up to. So this is my general warning. I'm taking my time. So in case you skipped it and didn't read it, here we are. Spoiler warning. There was a boss previously. I think, Brad, the next big boss that you're getting up to or maybe one beyond, they really come rapid succession. You start getting this kind of pantheon of bosses. I feel like pretty rapid succession. Some took me like 20 tries. Some took me like one try. And it, like the game, if you know the game, I think it all depends how, when, and what you had when you got up to the boss, right? If you're cruising with a build and you're like, man, I haven't been knocked down yet. Like I'm gonna get up to this boss with the second wind, and I have a weapon here that just crushes things, and it's fitting my play style. You can steamroll. You just get on a tear because your level will be stacking, right? Like you'll be like, shit, man, I'm like in the 50s. Like this is high. I got up to a boss and I had the worst time of my life in that game because I got up to the boss. Certain guns, good in certain situations. I got up to a boss with the fucking ricochet pistol, and I was like, this sucks for this boss. And I wound up doing no damage on the boss and having to just wait until I could spam my magic on the boss to do any damage. And that was the end of a half-hour run, right? Like, I just happened to swap out. And my experience now is, I don't know if you're getting there, Brad. I feel like you're right on the threshold where the game changes because you probably are entering the part with the marshlands, the blighted marsh, and the
that's where I'm at right now.
And I think the game changes there a bit, where you spend just so much more time. I feel like I'm just never not in the Eclipse. I'm always in the Eclipse, and I've got so many things now that are generating so many different types of guns because the pool is so much bigger. It's like a deck builder. And also, I'm getting so many redraw cards. I'm getting so many, what's the other thing I get that I'm like, oh, fuck, no, I need this. Redraw cards and other things that aren't weapons that come out of the relics that I might not see a weapon change an entire run if I really am unlucky in it, and that can be a real bummer. And I'm like, so what happened was a mid-run I swapped out for the ricochet gun because I was like, oh, I'll save my redraws for when I'm closer to the boss, and I'll just roll with this. It's like 10 levels higher than where I'm at, and I just never got another gun. And I'm like, I'm not going to backtrack all the way, and it just felt like a waste of a run by the time I got to that boss. That being said, I think that game is super fun, and I love the support they give you with that talent tree. I think that talent tree mixed with their gameplay is really doing something for me for this game that Returnal did not. It's making me feel competitive in the game, where Returnal felt a little too punishing by the time I didn't ever finish it, but where I put it down.
Yeah, I'd still like to go remind myself more about what Returnal was like, time permitting. But like, it seems like that was built into the very core of this game. Like the tagline of this game is "Come back stronger."
Yeah,
like it really feels like the core of the design is just, the more you play this, the higher your stats are going to be, and like eventually you'll just hit a tipping point where you can kind of brute force your way through it.
Yeah, and I think that's fine for me. I will do an attrition run with a boss, right? Sometimes I'm just, and I enjoy a weapon, especially for a boss, where I can just hold down the trigger and worry about dodging, right? And there are a few weapons that you got that really lean into that play style. And on a boss, the ones I do terribly at are ones that have no auto aim, and you kind of have to line up a shot or the charge one on a boss. It's like, dude, I don't have time for this. The bosses all are just puking out billions of unblockable, undodgeable things all the time. So I think the balance seems pretty cool. I think the story is interesting enough, but also kind of, we've talked about this before.
All the way doing it for you?
Well, it's a little worn territory, the Yellow King and the whole Carcosa, and it's a depressing game. It's not, doesn't seem to be going well for anybody on this planet, but there are hints of novelty in their Space Madness story that I'm enjoying. Hopefully we'll wrap it up. I did hit a point, again, I've said the spoiler warning, but Brad, I'm going to spoil this for you because I think no person should have to hit this wall and have the gut punch I got. Past where you are, possibly hours past where you are, depending on your play style, because I got stuck on a boss for a long time. You'll be hit with end of Act 1. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Okay.
I put 26 hours in this game. What do you end of Act 1? The acts are kind of Act 1 to Act 2 went very quickly. But I was like, is this a 60-hour game? Like, what am I getting into here?
It is for you.
I guess for me. There was one boss I really was struggling on. Yeah, I think Saros is rad. I think I'll be curious, Brad, to see when you have time to go back to it and dig in what you think of some of the later mechanics they throw at you.
Yeah, I would still want to finish that game. I think I'm probably just going to be chipping away at it slowly. Also, TerraTech ate not all, but most of my time this week, which we'll get into in a minute. But
let's do it. Let's switch over to TerraTech.
Yeah, I mean, I will say real quick, I kind of wish there was a little bit less uncertainty after, like, say, beating a boss in that game about whether I should keep going or not. Frankly, I kind of mostly just wish there was like some indicator of like, hey, people back at the base have new things to say or not. You're not necessarily gonna miss storytelling if you keep going and fight and beat the next boss. You know, because we've said before, like it seems like the trigger for new dialogue back at base is beating a boss, typically, at least from what I've seen. And like, I kind of wrecked the third boss and had a ton of level and stuff.
Yeah.
And didn't have a lot. Well, since I had beaten the boss, it was worth going back to spend my money because that's what unlocks the next stage of the tree as well. But I definitely had a moment of like, I'm cruising. I could just probably like plow through maybe the next part if I keep going. But I really don't want to miss whatever exchanges there might be and like new audio logs and stuff back at base. Like I don't want to miss parts of, because that's kind of all the storytelling there is, except for those little interludes where you go through the tree to like go do some flashback or nightmare sequence or whatever. But like so much of the story is just in the characters talking to each other at the base.
And I think you're actually at a part where I think there is a lot of back at base story.
Yeah.
So later on, you'll hit a point where there's just not a lot going on over there.
Yeah. I just kind of wish that they made it a little more clear. Hey, it's because you're going to give up your run if you go back, but if you don't and you beat the next boss, you're going to miss whatever new dialogue there was. Like that I wish that was a little clearer.
So they will do forced back to base things. When you need to for narrative reasons.
Maybe that's the cue I should be taking.
But I think like you might miss smaller stuff,
right? Yeah, I mean,
but like I said, later on that
force you to go back.
They do. They kind of clear a path, let's say, and you're just out there doing your thing, and then it'll be like the objective will be like go back to passage or something like that, and you just have no way forward. You're at the part now too where the map gets a little funky. In that you're not just doing a linear path, you might be bouncing around to other places.
Yeah, that was another one, is that I just unlocked 2 different paths that I could be going on, and I wasn't sure which one I should prioritize.
I think you can only do one, and they'll
maybe that's what it was. Yeah.
But I think it's cool, and I can't wait to see how it all wraps up and see what Housemark not to put the kind of cart before the horse here, or the horse before the cart. Horse before the cart. You'd always put the cart before the horse.
Wherever you want to put your horse.
What they do next. Like, I think this is generally considered a successful outing, right? Like, I don't know how much money it's made, but I think people generally like this. I'm curious if they keep going down this road, and I don't know too many other developers who are encroaching on this niche of highly polished bullet hell third-person games. It seems like they have their place. I wonder if they stick in it. I wonder if they stay there or they try something else. That's Saros. We'll come back to that next week. I can give you some final thoughts if I'm good enough at the game to finish it, or good enough at the game to level past where I am. Brad, you mentioned TerraTech, and Alex, you've played some TerraTech.
I have.
Yeah, that game, TerraTech Legion, to be clear, not just plain TerraTech, but every time I go to play a video game, practically, it turns out to be that one. Like, every time I'm in the mood to play a game, I just find myself starting that thing up.
It's pretty cool. I gotta say, I have not quite hit the point where I feel like I have that need to play it over and over again, but I have been trying 1 or 2 runs like a night, basically, as I've kind of started in on it. I think the only thing that is hindering me right now, which I think this game is very good at being one of these kinds of like bullet heaven type games. That thing makes my Steam Deck sound like it is going to explode.
Whoa, man.
The fan noise and the heat that game is generating off my Steam Deck is unlike most other games of that type that I have tried to play on there.
Huh.
Let me pause you for a second here for two things. One, just while we were recording, some Steam Deck pricing news came out,
Yes.
and we'll maybe touch on that.
I was going to get to that in a second
we'll
because
get to
I
that.
had at one point been thinking, well, maybe it's time to upgrade my
Yeah.
Steam Deck. Nope, not anymore.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I don't know how much there is to upgrade for you if you already have one right now.
Yeah.
But don't let your Steam Deck explode. Two,
Better screen.
Brad, why don't you set up again for folks who didn't catch it last time we talked about it, what TerraTech Legion is?
It's a Vampire Survivors with a vehicle builder component.
Yeah,
So
you had
you're-
kind of said more like even like a nuts and bolts style.
Yeah, I mean,
Stack
it's like,
shit on top of shit.
Yeah, I don't know if I guess that's getting to be a pretty dated reference now that I think about it. I'm sure there are other games that have used that style of vehicle builder, like Instruments of Destruction. I think it's pretty similar, right?
Okay,
That
a
we
scrap
streamed-
mechanic.
Yeah, we streamed on from Steam at some point. Like a lot of games use that style of block-based vehicle editor. But all the random drops are parts to put on your vehicle, so you can fully customize where your weapons are and what direction they're shooting, and you can get pretty creative with those designs.
And then it
which
auto
is
shoots
the
as
hook.
you
Yeah, it's
navigate
an
around.
auto. It's a full on bullet heaven
People might
Yeah.
not be aware, but yes, the bullet
auto
heaven.
shooter. It's a
Uh,
Vampire Survivors.
So, Brad, did you end up like discovering anything new, or just
Yeah, I mean,
enjoy
I'm just still playing it. I mean,
Yeah.
like there's 4 planets and 4 vehicles, and I've got the third of each open now.
Okay.
So I'm just slowly making progress. But
What is progress? Like, do you get different unlocks, different weapons?
there's a whole like star based system to every planet has 3 difficulty tiers, but you need 10 stars to get to level difficulty 2 on planet 1, and I have like 9 right now or something like. And the stars are based on beating bosses and doing side objectives and stuff like that. So
Do you get different as you get more stars and unlocks? Are there parts that you get the ability to get?
have not figured. I think the parts are tied to the planets. I'm not 100% sure, but like I just
Okay.
got to the 3rd planet, which is an ice planet, and I'm seeing a bunch of new parts. So I think the parts are all based on location.
Okay.
But like it's a pretty decent number of new parts even on the 3rd planet, and I assume the 4th level has new stuff as well. Like they do hold quite a bit back, so it doesn't get super repetitive.
Can you bring those
As you
parts
go.
back on a different planet, or they're just locked?
I haven't gone back to old planets enough to say.
Okay.
I would assume once you unlock them, they start showing up everywhere, but I could be wrong.
And you said there are different chassis with different hard points, or different.
Well, they're tied to the characters. Like that's each
Oh,
character
okay.
/ vehicle. I mean,
I see.
it's just a character portrait and
Yep.
a name. It doesn't really mean anything. It's really
Okay.
just what vehicle are you using. But those are pretty different. Like the starting vehicle is all about shooting. The second vehicle is much more about running stuff over.
Okay.
The third one is more about crits. Like the third one has the ability to crit really well. And like
Okay.
when you boost with the third one, it turns into like a ghost and passes through enemies.
Ooh. Okay.
And then they all get marked for crits basically by doing that.
Marked
ones that
for
you-
crits, or like they'll take more
Like
damage.
the next hit is a guaranteed crit.
Okay.
Basically, every enemy you like boost through as a ghost,
Right.
then get like the first hit is a guaranteed crit after that. So there's pretty different play styles per vehicle, is what I mean.
Alex, as a vampire survivor, what do you think? Is it feeding the same kind of itches, or scratching the same kind of itches?
I think it's hitting some of those same spots. Absolutely. It's just, it's not, I don't know. Like usually with these games with me, there is a moment where it just becomes obsessive. Like I feel like, oh, there's just something I need to complete. Oh, there's some task I want to get at. Like the thing with me and Mega Bonk was just like, hey, I want to make sure I'm getting all these hats, and I want to make sure that I'm unlocking all these levels and whatever. And then, eventually I kind of trail off with it. And so right now I'm waiting for that thing that just sort of like, okay, I need my like, okay, I'm trying to get all these things sort of like objective in there that just sort of like locks me in.
Mm-hmm.
Hasn't happened yet, but I am having fun with it. Like, I think it's well made. The modular stuff seems like it works very well. And the combat itself is pretty satisfying.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things I would say about this. Like this game is way more like traditional normie video game than the way it's designed. Than like this game, it's not. It's lacking the kind of like mysterious weirdness of Vampire Survivors
Sure,
and Mega
okay.
Bonk. Like, Vampire Survivors is just full of so many unlocks, and you're like, where the fuck did that come from? What is that? Like, where am I right now? You know, like, there's so many characters and weird items and side mechanics and stuff that just don't present themselves until you get them. And even when you do, you're like, the fuck is this? Like, this game is very regimented and obvious about, like, okay, I got to get this many stars by doing these objectives to get the next, to get, you know, open up level 2 of level 1.
Very upfront.
Like, it's all like explained pretty straightforwardly, like what you need to do and what everything does and stuff. Like, it feels a lot more obvious in that way. I guess the only other thing I would say is, like, there is a fair amount of downtime, especially the more heavy your vehicle gets. Like, you're just spending more and more time every time you level, like, trying to find places to fit all the parts you're continuing to get.
Oh, shuffle the pieces around.
Like, there's, you know, like you kind of, the kind of action kind of never stops in Vampire Survivors. Like, even as you level, you're, like, just right back in it, you know? Like, this game, like, there can easily be 5 minutes in between. Like,
no
like,
kidding.
Like,
Okay.
late in a run when I've got so much stuff already that it's hard to find, but you're still getting good stuff that you're just like, okay, I don't want to give up this weapon just to put this one on. I got to find a way to make them both fit. And then that is its own gameplay mechanic and loop, but also it really does interrupt the action for increasingly drawn out periods the more stuff you get.
Can you edit only when you level?
Yeah, it's only when you level, so you're like kind of loosely stuck with what you've got until you can manage to level again, which obviously gets longer and longer toward the end of a run. But so, like, it does kind of break up the flow sometimes when you're really just burdened with stuff and still trying to make it all fit.
Do you get any refund for ditching parts?
Not that I've seen. No,
Yeah, I don't think so.
They just go in your inventory. You can't, like, cash them in for anything.
Okay. TerraTech Legion on the Xbox and PC, $10 available.
Cool
now.
game. Definitely for $10. Very cool game.
I kind of can't stop playing it, though.
I feel like this Summer Games Fest trip will be the make or break. Like, if I start getting obsessed with it on that trip, then I'm probably done. If I don't get obsessed with it on the trip, then maybe nothing is actually going to make me that way.
All right. I think I'll say we've been playing some Directive 8020 on the stream with Abby. I think we hit, I'm not going to do any spoilers here, so don't worry about it, but I'll just say briefly, I think I'm back on board. I think I was kind of like middling in the middle there. And I think towards the end of last stream, I'm back on board. I want to see where this goes. I think the characters are still goofy as hell and make really bad choices, but there's enough there. There's enough meat on that bone now where I want to see what happens.
I will not spoil the twist for anyone who has not been watching along or playing themselves, but I will say I need to see what the payoff for the twist is before I reserve. I'm going to reserve judgment until I see where that is going.
Yeah, but that's enough to be like, yeah, I want to see it, right? Like,
all right,
yeah. There was
I hope they pull it off.
Yes, there's definitely a time before we got a little bit more into the story where I was like, man, this feels like it's just spinning its wheels. But they're going for something, and I want to see what that something is at this point. So yeah, Directive 8020. I've said it multiple times. Just still really enjoy that brand of game.
Yes, I'm glad they are continuing to make these kinds of horror games.
Yeah, very fun to play and to play with other people. Is that it for the games for now?
I think so.
Yeah, we got some other stuff coming out soon. Some other stuff that came out this week. This week was Yerba Buena was definitely on my list of things to check out. I'll have to go. I really just want to. Saros is one of those games where I feel like I'm going to get worse if I don't keep playing it. You know, like I need to keep my reflex. Need to keep training up. You know, I'm just going to I'm going to atrophy, and then it's going to be much harder to come back and play. Now that I'm nearing the end here, I just want to sit and beat it. So hopefully that'll be wrapped up and I can enjoy this buffet of games that has spread out before us. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to see if any other news has broken. Like we said, the Steam Deck price increases just happened while we were recording. And then we'll be back. We'll talk about the news, so stick around. All right, we are back, and breaking news here from the Nextlander news team. Brad Shoemaker, you want to tell us what's going on? The boys at Steam are back at it again.
Steam Deck gets Steam Decked. I don't know.
Oh.
I have no idea.
Big head of Steam headed your way.
They've raised the price on the Steam Deck significantly.
Significantly. I should.
This
I
is
feel like
happening.
significantly somehow isn't a strong enough word for this.
The 1 terabyte OLED model, which is to be fair, the flagship model, like that's the expensive one. It's going from $649 to $949.
That's an increase.
That's a huge. That's like almost half again as more expensive now.
And then there's the other model.
The 512 gig OLED is going from $549 to $789, so slightly less of an increase, but still quite a bit of one.
What's Valve saying? Market conditions?
Not much.
Yeah, there's a tiny news post along with this. Steam Deck OLED is back in stock with a price increase for both models due to rising memory and storage costs.
EBGB. Now,
Steam Deck itself hasn't changed. These new prices reflect the current state of component costs and other global logistical challenges across the industry as a whole. We'll keep you updated if anything changes.
do you think, let's just spend a little time here and we'll put on our pundit hats here. Do you think these prices come back down?
I don't know. Like in Valve's case, yes.
You think Valve?
In Valve's very specific case. Well, not that specific. I mean, Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo are in similar boats. But like when you've got an ecosystem to sell stuff on digitally that is your main revenue driver, it's in your interest to get hardware into people's hands. Granted, you don't have unlike those other companies, you don't have to buy Valve's hardware to play games on Valve's platform, but it certainly helps.
I think to answer that question, though, we would have to know things we just can't know about where the state of the economy is and where it is going. Like, I think that if the question is, would all these companies put their prices down if the costs became tenable again and they could do it? I think generally, yes. Will they get there? I truly, truly do not know at this stage.
Yeah, well, and again, I mean, just to further the point, I think that there's a divide between the Valves and Nintendos and Sonys of the world and the like people who sell graphics cards and memory, where that is the thing that makes money. In those cases, I think it is much less clear that the prices will ever come back down.
So are we still, to any of your knowledge, are we still escalating with the prices of RAM and stuff?
I've stopped keeping track of that stuff. Like it is, I mean, it is just trillions of dollars in infrastructure build outs that are happening, even though occasionally you'll get these stories about like, oh, OpenAI doesn't actually have the follow through to actually pay for all the memory that they've ordered and blah, blah, blah. And like prices go up and down a little bit based on news like that. But like generally the direction still seems to be toward bad.
So let's just say if there were to be a crash in prices for some of this stuff, say something happens where a bunch of people pull out of the escalating build-a-thon for infrastructure and stuff like that, supply now outstrips demand, prices go below where they started before this hike.
That's never happened. That is absolutely never happening.
Yeah, that would take some other, probably also bad things to happen.
You could have a crash of RAM.
I mean, possible.
Yeah, anything's possible.
I mean, I think that at that point, that's like entire global economy has collapsed type stuff. Though.
Okay,
which I'm not putting out of the realm of possibility.
That's like global depression territory at this point.
Let's say the prices sink below average for where they were, because they were fairly low before things started creeping up. I'm not saying go to like the nadir of where they were. I'm saying the average, right? Do you think it's a bad look if nobody Steam? I'm going to put Steam or Valve aside because I think Xbox and PlayStation will probably have a new console by the time that happens in the market. But I don't think Valve, the Steam Deck, doesn't have a rumored or announced successor yet, right? It's just the Steam machine.
They've kind of blown that question off every time they've gotten it, which I mean, very plausibly, I guess is the what word am I looking for? Like they are Valve is like the anti-hype company as far as their hardware goes. Like their hardware comes about by engineers who want to make cool hardware, and so they are always very like forthright about like like the parts on the market are just not at the sort of price to battery consumption sort of nexus that we want right now. Like they just are very honest about like the hardware we want for what we would want to see in a Steam Deck 2 just isn't there yet.
So, I guess what I'm answering my own question by talking about it. There are probably quote unquote other market conditions than just the hardware at this point, at this stage of the game. This is a huge increase. I mean, this is
Yes, it's massive.
This
large.
is a very
$300 ain't nothing.
I mean, 300 on a 649 device.
That's what I mean. Yeah, you're almost 50%.
It's like 40-something% price increase. Like that's huge.
It's a very different proposition, like it is. It's a very different ask, and they haven't announced the prices on their Steam machines yet, right? So
yeah, it is worth noting that it's pretty easy to upgrade the storage in a Steam Deck, so you can buy the cheaper one. But also, where are you going to get the storage? Because storage is even more expensive relative to its former like pre-catastrophe price than devices like this. So it's all bad. And yes, this bodes very poorly for the pricing of the Steam machine,
which they still say is this year. So we will see with that. So this just came out. Steam or Valve, I'm sorry, I keep saying Steam, but Valve, not always, like you just said, Brad, super communicative when it comes to this stuff. I was going to say we might learn more, but maybe we will get some more on like a white paper. They're not the worst with transparency, like you said, when they want to be like, hey, look, here are the costs for some of these things. Here's what's driving it up. Maybe this just happened, so maybe there'll be more to come out of this. It's very expensive. As someone who has toyed with the idea of getting a Steam Deck, this puts it on the go no go side. This puts it kind of out of the.
It's tough at this point in its life cycle. I mean, the thing is 4 years old now, I believe. Yeah. Like to be, we're not necessarily at the absolute end of the Steam Deck's life cycle, but like we're getting there.
You could see a refresh, I think. Yeah.
I'd say maybe a couple years from now, probably. Seems realistic for a Steam Deck too, but so it's like pretty tough to pay a very inflated price this late.
Yeah, and for something that I would be using as this would be fun, right? Like not necessarily because I would use it all the time. Steam Deck just dropped a over 40% increase on its prices, and now back to your regularly scheduled news. Destiny 2.
What other bad news we got? Destiny 2 is shutting down.
We are scheduling news.
This was the main story until the Steam Deck thing came in. But
so Destiny and Destiny 2 had a good run.
They're ending Destiny 2 development.
Yeah,
like it's over in a week and change, 2 weeks-ish.
How does that make you feel, Brad?
Very I started to say conflicted, but I'm not. I mean, conflict implies that there's an upside, which I don't know that there is here. Mm-hmm. It's sad. It's pretty sad. I mean, we should just say right up front, Jason Schreier on Bloomberg was there like right away because a lot of people saw this and are like, oh, okay, that's sad, but does that mean Destiny 3 is getting announced any day now? What's going on?
Is the whole team moving on? And
so I feel like we need to fill in all the gaps here first. Schreier's report is that a quote significant number of layoffs is in the works at Bungie. There is no current plan for following up Destiny 2 with a Destiny 3 or anything else in the IP. They are looking at moving some of the existing Destiny developers over to Marathon because they want to double down on investment in Marathon because it is not where they want it to be right now. Mm-hmm. But they are hopeful they can grow that player base. So that's pretty much where things stand. I mean, he does say that some employees are kind of preparing pitches for another game,
right,
going forward, but nothing has been greenlit, and a large number of people sound like they're going to lose their jobs. Not a lot of rosy near-term news for Bungie from the sound of things, so definitely no like Destiny 3 at Summer Game Fest or anything crazy like that.
Definitely not.
I think the best thing I can think of from this is that Sony is still backing Marathon, right? It seems players seem happy with Marathon, right? Like the
people who like it really like it.
Yes.
And Sony,
even if it isn't growing at a huge base, there are people who are very into that game.
Yeah, they did just from the sound of his report, like they just didn't get the numbers out of the gate they were hoping for.
Right, but Sony's not canning it. They are in fact they want to put more investment into it. Yes, but compared to where Bungie was with a running Destiny 2, they are going to have layoffs, and the number's not known yet. They are, it should be clear here, they're not turning off Destiny. They're doing an update was it June 9th?
June 9th is the final content update, but it sounds like that's basically just going to be the sort of
open everything up.
Final hurrah. Like, hey, we're kind of trying to leave the game in as workable a state as possible for everybody who might want to continue playing it. I guess that's when the next named content update was, which was Shadow. What God was it? Shadow and Order was supposed to be the next expansion, and that was scheduled for June 9th, but even that was a delayed date for that. But instead, it'll just be whatever this final thing is.
There's a whole list of basically if you go to Bungie's site and look at it, there's just a whole list.
Yeah, Destiny 2, every end is a new beginning is the name of this blog post, which is certainly a way to spend this. But yeah, this thing is chock full of details about what they're doing to leave the game in a specific state, and most of it is kind of over my head as somebody who hasn't played Destiny 2 in probably 4 years. When did Beyond Light come out? That was the last expansion I finished. Let me just triple check here.
Yeah, there's so much on here that...
God, late 2020? Is that right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
God, okay. Maybe it's been over 5 years since I really put a ton of time into Destiny 2.
I remember you kind of trailing off during COVID with that game. Like, I feel like after, during and after COVID was when you finally broke the spell with that thing.
I think Witch Queen was the last one I even fired up, and then even there, I think I played like the intro mission to that, and was just like, I'm not sure that my head and heart are in this anymore.
Do you know what the direction it's gone? What's a director?
Yeah, the director was the sort of quasi mouse driven location selector thing at the what Destiny 1 and 2 launched with.
Oh.
The way that you got to content.
Oh, interesting.
Like if you're looking at that blog post and you scroll down to the return of the director, that screenshot is the director.
Oh, it's just that
it's just a way.
Oh.
I guess they must have replaced that at some point. But again, this is all stuff that's mostly happened since I left the game.
Okay.
We've embraced the player feedback about the director and portal, and a newly refreshed director returns to its rightful place as the center of activities in Destiny 2. It's a lot of updates like that. It's a lot of stuff in here that I feel like is really only going to be super meaningful to people who are still playing the game to this day.
There was one thing that stuck out to me as a very, very light Destiny 2 person, and it is the seasonal events are being retired. A collection of weapon rewards for Festival of the Lost, the Dawning, Guardian Games, and Solstice can be earned through engrams on a Monument of Triumph vendor.
Yeah, as a lay player, as somebody who hasn't kept up with this stuff, that sounds positive that they're at least trying to make a lot of those holiday items still accessible to people through other means. It's not surprising that those events themselves aren't going to happen anymore. But I don't know. I'm just not caught up in the game enough to say for sure on a lot of this stuff how meaningful it is in terms of the way they're the state they're leaving the game in.
And they are planning on leaving it running. I mean, there's no server off date, or they kind of go out of their way to say we want to leave this running.
I have to imagine it would be. Well, in fact, they're going to still sell silver. Like they're still going to keep selling the currency to buy cosmetics and stuff with. So because it's going to cost money to keep the servers running and stuff like that. Like they want to try to keep monetizing it, although they made it sound like even there you're going to be able to earn more currency maybe than you used to buy stuff like that. I'm not quite sure.
There's something in there about stuffing the pass as well with a bunch of stuff in it. I have very little insight.
I mean, it sounds like this must have been somewhat abrupt because there's mention in here that some of what they're rolling into this final update is stuff or ideas that they had for Shadow and Order that now that is never coming out. So it's like, they were fairly far down the road of the next expansion when apparently this decision was made.
Yeah, I also imagine these roadmaps are pretty long in advance, right? Like you must have to.
Yeah.
It's a bummer, but
it's pretty sad to me as somebody who the last thing I'll say about the content stuff, and I would love to hear from people who are still very active in the game. There's no mention of the vault in this blog post, and I want to know where that stuff is at because I've pulled up their actual page on the content vault, and it's not clear to me what is and is not in the vault right now.
Can you expand on what the vault is?
Yeah, like a few years into Destiny 2, they basically started taking some of the content away.
Oh, like planets and stuff, right?
So it was like, hey, for this next year or for some period into the future, like Mars and Venus will no longer be available, and then the following year, okay, this is going into the vault, and now this.
I see.
Like it was just too much of a maintenance burden, basically, is the way they spelled it out, more or less, to keep all that content in there at once. Or, they were able to work on more new stuff by not having to keep up the old stuff all the time that people were not playing as much.
Right. So will
I
those
would certainly,
vault
but like
things?
the way the vault page reads right now, it's unclear to me. Like you can see year by year what they have vaulted in that game, but there are no indicators of what did or did not come out of the vault, so I'm not clear. I would hope nothing is going to be vaulted. I would really hope that everything, when this goes into maintenance mode, is going to be playable. It would really be sad if there's anything that gets left behind permanently.
I'm curious what their last little bit of narrative tweaking is before they go off. Like if they are able to, like you said, shift gears kind of abruptly here or semi-abruptly to put a little cherry on top, or if it'll just be because I think they say something like, hey, there's only like slight story work for some characters, not like a big end event here. Maybe that comes later at some point, hopefully, if the servers ever do have to go down or something, maybe there's some end game for people who have put a lot of time and love into Destiny, you know? I think I would feel very differently about this story if those people were moving on to another project, you know, not just being kind of caught in the wind.
Oh, it's such a bummer.
Because I do think, look, Destiny 2, good run for Destiny 2. I'm not sure how much they could shuffle the deck anymore and kind of keep coming up with new storylines. At some point, you need to move on and do something else.
I wanted, practically since the beginning of Destiny 2, I wanted a Destiny 3, like a clean slate. Let's just start from scratch with everything we've learned, and like third time is the charm, like really do this right and get away from their tech. So Schreier put up a YouTube video like right before this podcast started, entitled Why Destiny Died, which is like 20 something minutes of him talking about his reporting on Destiny. And also I get the sense maybe he's trying to put more of his original reporting in his own content rather than writing stories and having all the other YouTube channels and perhaps podcasts that talk about video game news swoop in and just quote his work for him. Anyway,
straight from the horse's mouth.
Point is, there's a bunch of info in this video that I haven't been able to watch yet because it just came out right before this, but I did scrub through it, and I immediately heard him reference the long-running reporting that like Bungie's internal tools are pretty rough or very archaic, and like it's quite hard working on Destiny content. I mean, that's been reported for years and years, you know, that it's just like, it's like, you know, it's like an overnight process if you make changes in your level to let it rebuild so you can test it the next morning type stuff. So like getting rid of tech debt, you know, like a Destiny 3, like a Destiny 3 with like a fully clean slate, like, or at least alleviating those problems, like something where they can iterate much faster, and probably never going to happen. Definitely never going to happen. Absolutely not going to happen. And that's a bummer.
That's never going to happen.
That's ridiculous.
You're never getting a new Windjammers. Brad is saying it right now.
Why would you say that?
Because by the time the market wraps back around to live service being desirable again to the extent that you would fund it to the tune of the $300-400 million this would take, Destiny is not going to be something anybody cares about enough to justify that investment at this point.
I don't agree with you. I think we will not see.
I admire the optimism, but it's just not.
But there's going to be so much nostalgia for Destiny 2 in 10 years that somebody they made a marathon. Even the people who still play Destiny seem to hate it. Brad, they literally just went back and made a marathon again. Somebody from now the question is, who will make a Destiny? Will it be Embracer Group?
I mean, that's the thing. Well, but at that point, like,
right,
nobody wants that.
Right,
like it is very unclear if Bungie itself is going to survive.
That's the
this process,
question, right?
And at that point, that's the other. Like,
will be around, but you might not want the Destiny 3 that comes out. Yes, you want the team that worked on I agree with you. You want the team that made all these learning strides in Destiny 2 to make a Destiny 3.
And that's gone already. Like, they've already done a bunch of layoffs. They're going to do more in the wake of this. Like, whoever's left, it sounds like, is mostly getting put on marathon support, except for whoever's pitching new games, which may or may not get greenlit, the way that Sony is shutting down studios and canceling projects. So
I think the story of Bungie isn't over yet, but this is a tough one, and I think I don't know. Well, it remains to be seen. Maybe in the contracts, this is more of a Jason Schreier question, but I wonder if Bungie has anything that says they can exit the relationship with Sony in a way they have done in the past or get some independence back.
You think absolutely not.
No, not for the price Sony paid.
Not for $3.5 billion.
The whole hog.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, maybe the Bungie name. We'll see how Marathon does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
we're seeing how Marathon's doing. We'll see
Yeah.
how it continues to do.
See how it continues to do.
Yeah, it's a bummer, man. Like Destiny is the closest I've ever had to a forever game. Granted, it turned out not to be, so maybe I just don't have one ever. But like
they are putting all the DLCs and stuff into one package, right? They're like going to put like a super Destiny 2 package together.
It's that again was something that was kind of laden with detail to the extent that I couldn't unpack all of it. But yeah, it sounds like there is going to be one final sort of expansion pack type thing to buy, which maybe seems like a weird proposition for a game you're shutting down.
The 30th anniversary pack, which it has not been 30 years of Destiny, but maybe a bunch.
Weirdly, this makes me want to play Destiny more than I did before, because at least I know that it's finally going to be kind of in stasis where I don't have to worry about like, what is this season's new currency and armor and upgrade mechanic that I have to spend brain capacity I don't have to spare learning how your weapons work again this time. Like the idea that it's just going to be around, like Diablo 2 has been played consistently for 20 years.
It's content
25
complete.
years. Like maybe this would be a more approachable game now that it's just kind of there hanging out.
I think it'll be funny when we get, 5 years from now, hopefully, knock on wood, like the Destiny 2 patch, and it's just like, hey, retune this, like the weird Diablo patches that come out. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I just fixed an old bug or retuned a thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Plus five to Whisper of the Worm. That's the entire patch.
Best of luck to everybody at Bungie, whether you are, in the wind or figuring out what's going on there or pitching an idea to Sony.
It's a bummer. I think we talked about it on the Apollo 11 Watchcast randomly, actually, recently. Like this thing being set in our solar system was so cool to me. Like
it made it potent.
It was like totally. It was like the Bungie layer of weirdness over top of a pretty familiar setting, as opposed to like Halo, which is like weird on weird.
Yeah.
Like Halo is weird shit out somewhere you don't know where. Destiny was weird shit on the moon.
Yeah.
Like weird shit on it was just like, the moon, Mars, but then it's like, why is the moon haunted by hell demons? Like why is Mars ruled by a space Roman Empire? Like what's up with these time robots that bleed milk? Like it was a weird mishmash of familiar and kind of mysterious that really just did it.
And the shooting was good.
And the shooting is very good.
Remains good.
Yeah.
Just won't be necessarily updated. Speaking of updates, Alex, Media Molecule, a studio, and speaking of updates and Sony, Media Molecule's coming up again. We haven't heard from them in a while.
Yeah, I mean, after, what was it, Dreams, the servers for that basically stopped being a going concern. There were layoffs at the studio. It wasn't entirely clear what their next thing was going to be, but they have a next thing, I guess, and it sounds like they are hiring up for a open world sounding kind of game.
Yeah, I'm very curious. This is coming out of job openings,
yes,
and people are kind of inferring or just reading the job opening, as it were, to say that Media Molecule is looking for various open world content people.
Yes,
what that means?
Well,
Nobody knows.
I mean, for Media Molecule, it could really mean anything because, in the tradition of that studio, generally when they have made video games, they have made creative, weird versions of those video games. Little Big Planet was the create your own platformer. Dreams was the create your own video game tool set,
Tool sets, yeah.
So to me, I mean, again, there's nothing in this story that really indicates one way or the other, but to me, it doesn't sound out of the realm of possibility that like someone said, well, what if we did the Roblox thing and we just made a tool set for people to make their open world video game?
Oof. Yeah, that sounds like a big ask, but yes.
I mean, as big an ask, if not bigger than just making an open world game in 2026.
Yeah. I don't know what the state of Media Molecule is at this point.
No, we don't. I mean, they lost somewhere around 20% of their staff in that last layoff. So I don't know what the overall number was.
Left.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder if we get any of this at the next State of Play. If there's any hint of what Media Molecule is working on. Again, this is all coming from a job posting not an official announcement.
Not a lot of info there to go off of. Just, hey, they are still there and still making games.
Yeah, I mean, the state of Sony is such, especially with the moves they've been making lately, that I feel like it's notable just to see any confirmation that Studio X is still doing a thing.
Yeah.
As opposed to just slowly declining or whatever.
So, keep an ear out for Media Molecule's next thing. Apparently they are working on something, which is good news. Good news. All right. You know who else is working on something? CD Projekt. Now, CD Projekt, CD Projekt, I didn't realize this, but they apparently made a switch over from being a kind of more Rockstar one game, everybody's on it studio to a multiple irons in the fire studio within the last 4 or 5 years. That was a big internal shift. The Witcher, now bear with me for a second. The Witcher verse has a lot of stuff going on. It's got the biggest one is probably The Witcher 4, which is the kind of Siri-led Witcher that they're developing on UE5. We'll get to that in a second. But that's the one they showed the tech demo for, and they're like, look how beautiful the grass is. The Witcher, it's coming. And then
Night foliage.
Yeah. It's CD Projekt really likes their tech stuff. Then they have the Witcher 1 remake. The Witcher 1 remake is they're going back and in Unreal Engine 5 doing the Witcher 1 again, I assume to make it more in line with the Witcher 2 and 3. Witcher 1 was kind of its own odd duck in that whole series. Different. And that team is Fool's Theory, who is doing the Witcher 1 remake. So this thing we're going to talk about here was rumored. Nobody really had known if this is going to happen or not. They have CD Projekt has a live stream happening at the time of this recording tomorrow. So maybe they've said more about this. But ahead of the live stream, which is probably where they were going to announce this, it has come to light that there is a new DLC coming, Songs of the Past, for The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt.
I've heard it's popular.
That came out about 12 years ago.
2015, I think.
I think 2015, yes. And 11 years ago was the last piece of DLC for this game. So this is coming out in 2027. Not a lot of details about it right now. I assume this will bridge a little more between
I don't know why else you would do this.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to be crass here, but there's literally no reason for them to be putting out new Witcher 3 DLC unless they are expecting it to bridge the next Witcher stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the main. I mean, the other reason is they sold a bajillion copies of. Actually, they say it right in this blog post, 60 million copies.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people out there who could buy this DLC. Although worth noting, this DLC is only current consoles because Witcher 3 obviously launched on last gen consoles.
Right.
But this DLC is not coming to those versions.
And I don't think Witcher 2 ever even got a PlayStation release, and Witcher 1 was only PC. So there is room to revisit the Witcherverse and bring it all back. I mean, they're doing the remakes, so those will come to modern consoles or whatever console is out when that thing comes out. But yeah, this is, I assume if you're listening to this at the on Thursday, you might have seen the stream. It's happening at 11 a.m. Eastern, so a lot more information might be out there about what this is and how this, maybe it goes back and it retcons some stuff from the remake of Witcher 1 as well, right? It could tie up some loose ends. There's also that, so there's the Witcher 4, there's the Witcher 1 remake, and this DLC is being made by Fool's Theory, who are making the Witcher 1. If you don't know Fool's Theory, it's I think headed up by an ex CD Projekt Red person with a bunch of other people who are ex vets from the game dev world. A lot of stuff on their credits if you go to their page. I think the only game they've put out that I recognize was the Thaumaturge. Remember that? Does that name?
Oh, the
sound familiar?
Thaumaturge. Yeah. I mean, that's a hard one to forget.
Yeah.
Not a lot of things are called that.
Yeah, but they have a lot of games on their credits page for stuff they have done work on or helped out with in the past. So they're doing stuff. They're doing the Witcher 1 remake and they're doing this DLC. Like I said, the Witcher 1 remake, UE5, Witcher 4, also UE5. You got a pipeline there. There's also that codename Sirius game, which was started by Molasses Flood. Do you know this is the
saying words?
I know Molasses Flood. I think that's a Boston studio, if I remember correctly.
They were the Flame in the Flood studio. They were acquired by CD Projekt Red. Things didn't go super great. I think they're fully absorbed now, and they no longer are Molasses Flood.
Yeah,
and then
you might be right.
I think they rebooted that game. It is the multiplayer Witcher game that they still, I think, is still in development.
Okay,
it's I don't know the state of it. I believe it's still in development, but I do think Molasses Flood does not necessarily exist as its own entity. I think it got kind of absorbed like molasses. Anyway, that's the Witcherverse. Look out. That game, that DLC is due out in 2027. I don't think there really are any dates for the other Witcher properties out there. I'll say it one more time. Leading tech here for CD Projekt Red, UE5, bleeding edge game development for The Witcher 4. I don't think it could possibly look any better. I dare you to challenge me on that.
Well, Epic has now said the words Unreal Engine 6.
Fuck. Shit. Well, it's really easy. You just turn the knob to 6, right? And then the development goes up.
Yeah, this is not anything huge. They've literally just shown a logo with a 6 on it at the end of a Rocket League trailer.
Wow,
there's all the games.
Rocket League with really good-looking cars.
All the games.
Well, actually, so I did not realize this until this trailer came out. Apparently, Rocket League is still on UE3.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
which is the Xbox 360 era technology, but
that's very funny.
The only real, broadly, the only reason this is interesting is as if we needed more indicators. There is no surer sign that new consoles are imminent than a new Unreal Engine getting named.
Sure.
So you follow this stuff, I think, way more than any of us do. Is that how it goes?
100%. UE3 was the Gears of War engine. Gears was the big showpiece for 3. But they've put one out per console generation, right? Mm-hmm. Right around the close to when they start launching is when they start showing tech demos, and then not long after new consoles are out, games start shipping on the new engine.
So who got UE5?
You mean in terms of being the flagship game? Fortnite, I guess. Probably. But I think Fortnite started on 4, right? Yeah, Fortnite, I think, yes.
So
started on 4 and transitioned to 5. But I don't think there hasn't been a singular Gears of War style
flagship.
This is the game on new engines as much since Gears.
So was 5 does 5 still obviously when 5 came out in 2022 the consoles were out already, the PS5 was out, and so is that just the mid-generation refresh? Was that that didn't follow a console launch
for Fortnite
UE5.
Specifically, or just for the
no just UE5
it's the PS5 and Xbox Series X engine, essentially.
It just came out a little later.
I think it was a few months. I think games don't really start shipping until sometime after the hardware is out. But I think they started showing off UE5 tech demos a few months before PS5 was out. If I recall, I'd have to go check dates. But
so again, you're sorry to put this on you. I just feel like you know more about this than any of us do. So would you suspect now that people are developing in UE6 somewhere? I
don't know if it's out to developers yet. Externally, at least. I mean, Rocket League, obviously, they own because they bought Psyonix many years ago. I don't know that any external developers have access to it yet.
Okay,
but
you probably have to just start building pipelines and QA and debugging. And I assume when you're adopting a new engine that nobody's road tested before, it's pretty bumpy. I would assume.
Oh, definitely. But whatever. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this, and they've said very little. This is based on one Tim Sweeney quote from months ago, and not much else, but I bet this one's going to be a lot less eventful than 5 in terms of new features. I bet it's going to be much more about making the big stuff they added in 5 run better, which will be very welcome news to a lot of people who can't pay suddenly 5x inflated hardware prices for a new PC.
Oh, I see.
They're the little bit that the quotes have come out are more about addressing some long-term bottlenecks in the engine and stuff like that.
That would make sense given everything that we just talked about in the hardware market too.
And the stuff they added in 5, again, sorry not to try to turn this into a tech podcast, but like a lot of that was based on like, oh, all the consoles have fast SSDs now. There are things we can now rely on universally that we can exploit in some pretty impressive ways, and like the next consoles are just building on that. So I think it's going to be, hey, let's take the big nanite and lumen stuff we did in 5 and make it run better, but not necessarily. And like, whatever, here I go. I said I wasn't going to do this, but like they just last week or the week before, I saw they have been doing some serious work on like medium level quality settings for their lumen global illumination stuff. So like the point is, like, I think a lot of companies are recognizing, hey, we really need to like elevate the middle here on performance because of where hardware is at, and like people are not going to be buying new hardware as much in the coming years, and we really need to double down on making things work better on the hardware that is out there now. I started to bring up during the Steam Deck segment, Valve has really gone hard in this direction.
Like optimization?
Valve engineer made a Linux kernel contribution not long ago to make things specifically run better on machines with only 8 gigabytes of VRAM.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which has been like a real pain point for graphics cards. Like that's 8 gig of VRAM is sort of considered like not adequate for modern stuff. But they have been doing some real hard work to make that stuff work. And then that was seen as a Steam machine bellwether. It's like, oh, like Steam machine's going to be pretty limited in specs. Like they're laying the groundwork for the Steam machine to punch well above its weight.
Good for them.
With some of the software work they're doing, and I bet UE6 is going to be a fair amount of the same stuff. And like
that
I
said,
said, even some of these late UE5 editions they were making with the getting like the medium tier lighting quality looking and running way better recently. There's a lot of work going on in the kind of low to mid tier optimization space.
But you think it's more than they could pack into like a decimal update for 5?
Probably. I don't know. That's definitely
some architecture update.
Definitely way above my pay grade, but I'd probably, yeah.
The thing that 5, and correct me if I'm wrong, brings to mind is that Matrix thing. Remember that Matrix run around inside the Matrix that showed off? It's when you said nanite and lumen technology. I think it was on PlayStation 5.
I forgot about that fucking demo. Yeah.
I still don't remember that. The only tech demo I remember is the just kind of Uncharted-ish looking lady jumping through a cave, like mystical ruins stuff.
Dude, we played it. It was a demo that they released. We played it on a stream, I think.
Unless I'm wrong about it being
right,
UE5.
yes, the literal Matrix. You mean like the movie?
It was literally the Matrix.
Yes,
It was a licensed thing.
Right. Yes, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
that's still
that
playable?
was actually kind of a cool, as tech demos go. It was kind of cool.
That is. I mean, this is really showing my age here, but that is the most potent thing you can do in a tech demo is just be like, hey, remember that thing that used to be hard to render offline? Here it is in real time.
Check all this shit out.
Like it is 100% Toy Story. It is 100% like, hey, we can do Toy Story in real time now. Like it's just, that's literally PlayStation 2 era tech demo shit, but it will never stop working on me.
Well, now look at these Rocket League cars. Don't they?
Can you still? Yeah, 2021. I think you can still download that Matrix thing.
I'm not aware of them ever getting rid of it. So, but yeah, that was always just such a funny, weird thing.
Yeah. Anyway, they added a lot in UE5, and I think the world is ready for like that same stuff to get better rather than and improve and evolve rather than a bunch of new features. Probably.
Look at these. Anyway, look at these cool textures.
Hopefully, if this stuff bores you to death, you've hit the chapter button by now. But the point is, like we are really gearing up for new consoles at this point with stuff like this.
I'll add, because Unreal Engine ain't the only game in town. This weekend, my son has a one-on-one lesson with somebody for Godot.
Okay, yeah, no,
plenty of other stuff out there.
Yeah. Godot is gaining a lot of ground. I mean, Slay the Spire 2 shipped on Godot. Like there are more and more companies moving to.
He's been working on his little game in Godot for ages now, and we're finally like, okay, you're serious enough. We'll pay for a session with somebody to get you some help here.
So you're writing C# over there, or
I think there's like
GD script.
Yes, I think you can do
GD script is the like in-house scripting language there. I think.
So yeah, keep up, Unreal. All right, I think that's going to do it for the news, unless something else has broken by the time we started.
Not as of this moment. I've been keeping my eyes peeled.
In response, Microsoft says we're raising our prices even more. Who? That's everybody, right? That's everybody's made the rounds now. Are we?
Yes. Since Nintendo just did it, everybody has had at least one bump.
Man, some pretty big bumps. Again, that's going to be the news, but we do have an email address here. That email address is podcast@nextlander.com. 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 You got to say it 3 times. Make sure it sticks in the head. Brad Shoemaker, what you got in the email bag?
Yes. Here's a question from friend of the show, Lexi Letty, since we were talking about hardware stuff.
Hi, Lexi.
I'm about 6 months into owning my first ever dedicated gaming PC that I built myself.
Congratulations.
It was a bit of a harrowing experience, as I got an offer to do game reviews at a PC First website, and then had to desperately get the money together to buy parts during November 2025 as prices shot up. But now I have a 5070 Ti, a Ryzen 7700, and enough RAM to buy a house, which is now 32 gigabytes. It's been nice knowing that I now have some hardware that will keep me running new games pretty well for a good long time. But the bigger thing is my satisfaction having learned a new skill. Assembling the build myself over 2 nights and getting to dive into a new subculture of games and learn about and understand a lot of new tech. That leads me to ask, what were your first gaming PCs? What was it like putting them together at the time? And do you remember learning anything from the experience?
Wow.
Gaming PC. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a very specific thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think for the purposes of the question here, it's like first one you built yourself.
Okay.
Because, I mean, again, showing our age here, like, I mean, you could build PCs starting in probably the early 90s, realistically, but, like, PC building is not, only probably in the last 20 years or so has it become, like, a commodity industry to the extent that it is now, where it's, like, easy to get parts, and there's a lot of information about how to do it, and the usability is really there, for example. Like,
there was no PC parts picker. Back in the day.
Yes, like tools like that did not exist.
Which
like all the
awesome. Those tools were awesome.
All the cases prior to about 2004 were terrible. Like, you were not coming out of building a PC before then without bloody hands, and like they just were not made with usability in mind either. It was just like, who the like
ribbon cables,
this was not designed by a human being for humans to work in.
No, bloody hands and IRQ conflicts coming out the wazoo. Like, it was a nightmare. So I'm going to separate this out for the answering this question, because I was building PCs actually at a fairly young age, but very few of my PCs that I built had anything to do with gaming in a major way, because I could not afford the actual, like, good graphics cards and other new, like, bric-a-brac around that time. I do remember that I had a very early Sound Blaster Live. I had a very good sound card early on, because that was kind of more what I was into originally. But
I think the Sound Blaster was probably the entry upgrade for a lot of people. Like, I also did not build the PC, but put a Sound Blaster into the 16 into the computer.
But my dad taught me how to do it. Like, my dad, like, was an early, I mean, you know, we had an Apple II originally, but then when he started moving into more Windows-based stuff, like, he showed me how, like, you know, how to put parts together, like, and very clearly demonstrated to me all the ways it could go wrong. And I'm not saying that because he was terrible at it or anything, but just because it didn't matter how good you were, because something was going to be wrong whenever, the first time you sealed up that case, you were gonna have to unseal it at least one time to fix something, guaranteed.
Were they ISA slots at the time before PCI?
Yeah, that was the first expansion bus that was a big deal in PCs for a very long time.
But I think the first gaming PC I really bought, like, put together, was probably sometime when I was at GameSpot. Mostly because we got those Alienware machines in the office, and I was like, well, I want to have something that's at least reasonably, you know, commensurate. So I don't remember anything about it, though. I know I built it, and I know that I sourced some parts and spent a little money, but I could not tell you anything about that build, because I could tell you I mostly used the Alienware machine at work for that purpose.
Yep.
Brad, do you know specifically the first one?
Yes. And I think I've said it before. My mom got rid of all the old computers, like, e-wasted them at some point a few years ago, and I will never stop regretting that decision, because I wish I could go look through this stuff now. To remind myself exactly what was in there. But yeah, the first PC I ever built from scratch, ordering all the parts from brown box sites and doing it myself, was in 97, which was a Pentium 200. with, I'm pretty sure, 64 megabytes of RAM,
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken, which was a lot at the time. This was my going to college computer. That's about all I remember.
Was there a video card, like a 2D card? Like
yeah, that was still
card?
the combo 2D 3D cards were just starting around that time.
Okay.
Like I had older parts. I think maybe I bought new. I can't remember. I think I had a Voodoo 1 in there and a 2D.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
I think I had a
I can
Voodoo
tell
1.
you, mine was a Voodoo something.
Pretty sure I still had I had my old Voodoo 1 and a separate 2D card for a long time, and then eventually kind of fell into getting a Riva TNT, which was the first truly mainstream NVIDIA card before the GeForce got big. But the TNT was my first like all-in-one card, which was a fucking revelation at the time to only have to put one video card in your computer.
Oddly, cards now bigger than the 2D, 3D 2-card combo. The size of the card, those 2D cards just were not very big. They were long lengthwise.
No. They mostly didn't even have a heatsink. They didn't even do passive cooling back then, let alone active cooling.
I don't remember the first. I had a Packard Bell PC for a while. My dad had like a Tandy or something, but like my computer was like a Pack Bell for a long time, and I would just tinker on it. I didn't put it together myself. I would just like swap pieces in and out. I don't remember the first. When I was in college, I don't know if I built that computer or not. I probably did. That's the one where I've told the story a million times, but at college we had the meal plan was just money you put on the card, and then you can use it at all the stores. And one of the stores, the college bookstore, was selling the Voodoo there.
Yeah.
And so I used my meal card for the semester to buy the Voodoo card and put it in. And yeah, fuck yeah, Quake 2 was
nice. You can eat ramen for one semester.
Hell yeah. So I don't know if that computer was the one I built. My only real memory that sticks in my head that shines is sitting on the floor in my first San Francisco apartment in the quote unquote Civic Center. And I think it was there, and working on a PC, and I had, just like you were saying, Alex, like I'd put it together, I'd take it apart, put it together, take it apart, put it together, take it apart. Something was not working right. And then in the meantime, during one of the times I did not unplug it, and I had the screwdriver in there, and it went zzz, and I just remember curling up into a ball and like pushing the computer over and just like being like, oh no.
Please work.
No, it did not work. I fried something in there, and I remember just being very, very sad. And yeah, it's
terrible.
It's one of those things where I was like, I probably wasn't even unplugging it all the time. Now I do unplug it. I was probably just turning the power supply switch on and off every time I had to the little rocker switch on the power supply, and I probably just forgot to flick it back the other way. Yeah, look, you can mess them up. We've got video of messing up. PC Parts Picker is a fantastic resource.
What a revelation.
Or there's another one too, right? I think PC Parts Picker is the one I use. I feel like there's another one. I don't know why every industry doesn't have a PC Parts Picker. Like every industry, like plumbing, should have hey, this fixture is going to go with this type of coupling. Like everything should have it. It's just such an easy.
Well, you know why it doesn't, right?
They want to make me mad.
Because plumbing fans aren't as mouthy as gamers. So, like, there aren't people complaining about how hard it is to get plumbing parts in the same way gamers complain.
No, I don't know. I bet they are. I bet they are. If you're a plumber, let me know.
The custom PC market is such a weird outlier of, like, it's mainstream and consumer-oriented, but it's still pretty intensely technical and DIY. You know what I mean? Like, most... nobody's looking to build their own refrigerator from scratch or their own car. I mean, obviously, like some people might build up an engine from scratch and revitalize an old car or something like that. But it's not like a mainstream industry. Like how many other product categories out there where people this many people are like this into putting it together themselves.
With the mix and match culture, I do think PC building has gotten. I say this, and I'm not trying to. If you have trouble building a PC or don't want to do it, I'm not trying to say that you should just go buy a PC and do whatever you want, or
especially not now.
Yeah, but I do feel like it's gotten lots and lots and lots easier with plug and play to just.
It is so wildly less abrasive than it used to be. Like
I still think chipping it is probably the scariest part. Putting a heatsink on and having to go engage in the 40-year-old debate of, do you put a dot of transfer, heat transfer, what can't I think of that, thermal paste
yeah,
or do you spread on? What do you do, Brad? Are you a dot in the middle?
I don't paste it. I have not pasted in a while as much. I use a graphite pad unless I really need. I was just looking. I'm sorry to just hijack half of this podcast this week. Spent some time looking at PTM 7950 this week.
Okay.
Which is a Honeywell made thermal interface material. Phase change.
Oh.
Goes on solid, turns liquid.
Under heat. Okay.
Which, I mean, it's been around for a while. It's to the point where it hit Linus Tech Tips a couple of years ago, and they straight up sell them now. But it's just it's a supposedly longer lasting alternative to paste now that came out of industry.
That's great. So
there's all kinds of wild alternatives out there these days.
It comes cut to size, you don't even have to trim
I thought about buying some to mess around with. I don't know that I'm going to bother, but yeah, you can buy it at different sizes, and it goes on. I've read that the consistency out of the box is kind of like an unchewed stick of chewing gum.
Oh, that's cool.
But then you put it on, and then I believe it's 45 Celsius is where it starts turning to liquid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I wonder how it comes off. I wonder if it just peels off once
that's what stopped me, is reading about it coming off. It is pretty sticky and tacky on there, and you got to kind of scrape it off and
isopropyl alcohol.
Yeah, the whole point to me is I just hate the paste mess. That's why I use a graphite pad. Yes. Which you're giving up a few degrees of performance there, but it's a nice dry pad that just comes right off. So
I think that is probably still the one spot, but maybe now with pads it's easier. But I do think putting the CPU in and then putting the heatsink on is probably the stress point, I would say.
I still can't believe we moved the pins to the motherboard from the CPU.
Hell yeah.
That's terrifying. You can just kill a motherboard.
Yeah, but the bend pins on the CPU, putting that thing in, it's better than they don't do the solder balls anymore, right? That's old. The whatever.
BGA.
Yes. Man, that was also a dumb thing. Did you ever bend a pin?
Yep. Yeah, I mean that's where
get the tweezers out.
That's where the war stories really come in. The build I ran all through COVID, that it was my longest lived computer by far. I used that machine for 8 years or something. On day one when I built it, I had the cover off of the CPU socket, the LGA, where the pins are on the socket on the board now. Leaned over it, and my t-shirt kind of caught
on one little
24 pins.
Ooh.
And I just was not thinking, and bent a bunch of the pins before I ever even used that board, and then spent an hour with a pocket knife, very gingerly bending all those pins back into what looked like position, and then built the whole thing, and it booted right up and ran for 8 years.
Yeah.
So
I will say before if anybody is thinking about putting a PC together, again, aside from the price market stuff like that, I'd say what I have seen on AMD and Intel chips these days is they are pretty much keyed and go in one way. And you're not going to mess it up really. And the pins are kind of recessed now below, they lift the whole thing up, so that's not as big an issue anymore of accidentally touching it. But you still want to be a little.
Yes.
The bigger part is the heat sinks are so damn huge. Clamping them down, it's like putting a radiator from a car on them, and that always feels like stressing the board a little bit.
Yeah, I think most people are moving to liquid cooling for high-end CPUs. Not everybody, but especially if you have more of mid-range CPU, you can still do air just fine. But the really high-end CPUs, there aren't that many air coolers that can actually cool them now.
Oh.
And also, all-in-one liquid coolers are getting insanely cheap.
Yeah, and pretty easy to install.
And kind of foolproof. They're, I don't want to say leak-proof, but they're pretty much leak-proof unless you do something crazy, twisting up tubes or something.
Do you know how long they last? I've had one running, it must be for 10 years now.
Oh, you have an AIO?
Yeah, it's a Corsair one.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, I mean, if
vMix machine for ages.
I guess if it's still going, then I guess probably indefinitely. I mean, I don't think they.
I mean, it's a sealed system.
Yeah, I don't think you lose liquid like you do on a custom one that you build yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I've never had one of the AIOs, so I can't say. But I think if you take care of them, they probably last a pretty long time.
I've been waiting to see. Okay, we should move on. We'll get another email ready, but I thought by now we would have a non-boutique all-in-one cooling system for graphics cards and CPU mix, but they seem very expensive, and the cooling blocks always seem ridiculously pricey.
Like MSI is one company. Like there are all-in-one liquid-cooled graphics cards here and there, but the nice thing about the CPU ones is you can just put in a different CPU, and at most you might need a $5 new mounting bracket for a different CPU, but the graphics card ones are all completely integrated where you can't take the cooler off the graphics card. Like you
totally. I feel like we should what are we doing? Standardize it.
Well, but nobody's shipping graphics cards without cooling bolted on already, whether liquid or air. It's just a different market where CPUs are just loose CPUs with standardized cooling mounting that you can just put on whatever you want. Nobody's selling graphics cards that way. They're all kind of integrated from the jump.
All right,
you can put custom water cooling on graphics cards,
but they, like I said, it seems so expensive.
That is wildly expensive.
Another email.
Sure. How high tech is this one from Casey? Do you prefer to shower in the morning or the evening? I generally prefer an evening shower, though I have been known to enjoy a middle of the day shower.
Oh. I think I know your guys' preferences.
We've probably talked about it. I'm a night shower guy these days.
Yeah.
Though the midday shower is great if you've been doing yard work or other things and you just need to, spend the rest of your night feeling a little cooled off and comfortable.
A midday shower feels luxurious.
Yeah.
That is only a last resort. That's like a, I don't know, freak event. Something happened kind of thing.
Yeah. You're a night showerer too, right, Brad?
Now.
Yeah.
Only since the pandemic, only as of working from home. Like if we still had to go somewhere to work, I would definitely probably shower twice though then. Even though they say that's bad for you.
Take a bath.
I could not. I don't think I could go to an office every day without showering in the morning before I went. But I also now, since the pandemic, I can't. I have a hard time going to bed dirty now.
Dirty.
I've gotten so used to being clean right before I get in the bed, and the sheets staying somewhat cleaner that I actually think I sleep worse if I don't.
I'm a morning shower. I can't really start a real day unless I have showered. Like the shower for me is now the signal that it's go time. It's Mario time with the shower. If it's a weekend though, I can if I have something to do, I will still shower on the weekend. Even if it's staying in the house and doing something, it just tips my brain off that I am no longer in lazy mode. All right, turn it on, let's go.
Yeah, I've kind of adapted. I do kind of some a series of morning stretches and wash my face in the morning, which is kind of serving that role.
Yeah, I need a ritual, a little routine.
Wake me up.
Yeah, to switch gears. And then I shower, and I'm same thing with if I know I have something to do on a weekend, let's say, and it's all right, I need to go do yard work or this project or something. I need to then go and get changed, out of pajamas, out of sweatpants, and go put on actual going out clothes and be okay, I'm now switched from lazing around Vinny to I'm Project Vinny. I'm doing something. Because if I stay and I just do it in sweatpants or something, I'm I'll do it later. But as soon as I switch over, I'm good. But on the reverse side of that, once I'm back in my PJs or sweatpants, that's lazy, Vinny. No, don't come ask me. I will
Real pants Vinny and sweatpants Vinny, they are two separate people. And never the twain shall meet. The worlds must not collide.
The question is, you need to go to the store for 5 minutes. Do you leave the house in the gym shorts, or
no?
Do you go to the trouble, literally crossing the street to go buy some milk?
No.
Are you putting real clothes back on? Or
I am.
I can do the cross the street with the sweatpants. I can't go do more than that.
Yeah, no. Well, okay, sweatpants. If they're going out sweatpants, then okay.
Your formal sweatpants. Okay.
Yeah, if it's my
all
good
pants
good
are going out sweatpants if you believe in them hard enough.
But I won't go out in sweatpants and a t-shirt. So no, probably not. I would if I had my body of an Adonis and I felt very comfortable being in a
some people can make it work.
Yeah, some people totally make it work.
Some people can look very fashionable in sweatpants.
I hate those people. If I go out in a t-shirt and sweatpants, I probably am trying to get in and out of my house as quickly as possible without being seen, and that's just a me thing. So I will go put on a shirt, and I'll probably put a button down on and some pants and socks and shoes and sneakers. I'm not a flip-flop guy either. And then I'm in business mode, and then it's business time. Let's do it. I also live in the suburbs here where going across the street, I'm just going to run into somebody. Like, I'm going to run into a parent of another kid or somebody. Every time I think I'm not, I do. And then it's conversation. And then I was like, I was not in conversation mode. I need to escape. So it's very hard. It's hard. My life is hard. Difficult.
I've always said that.
Do you guys have PJs?
No. I am literally just an underwear sleeper and have been basically since I've been an adult.
Okay. Just boxer briefs or something. Just yeah.
Whatever keeps me from flopping around too much. Absolutely. Because I'm not a naked sleeper.
No?
I have done it, and I've never been happy in my life sleeping naked. Never happened. I've been happy being naked in bed, but I have never been happy trying to sleep naked.
I'm a pajama guy. I
get it. I respect it.
Yeah.
All right.
There's too many things where I need to get up usually, like in the middle of the night, or do something with. I just got into it when I had kids of just all right, I got to get up and I got to go manage something. That having a pair of shorts or sweatpants on is like, okay, I got to
that's
do
fair.
a thing. Yeah.
Seems like you'd get hot though.
In the summer it's definitely shorts. In the winter,
short jammies.
Yeah, in the winter it's a very thin, like the thinnest cotton shorts. And a t-shirt, and that's it. Yeah, but if I'm at a hotel, forget it. If I'm staying by myself in a hotel,
freedom.
I'll sleep however God intended. Like a newborn baby. Don't walk in on me. That's my deterrent. That's on you. Brad, is that it for the emails this week?
I got one more if you want.
Okay, yeah, right. Let's do it.
Landon from St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yes.
Recently, I fired up Crackdown 1 and was reminded how much the game rules.
Okay.
It got me thinking, what happened to the B tier of open world games like Crackdown, Mercenaries, and Red Faction Guerrilla? Do open world games fall into economy of scale issues? Did AAA just swallow up the space entirely? I miss open world games built around a singular fun idea.
Well, allow me to make this argument, because I do think that it is an economy of scale thing. I think the open world B tier game became survival games. I think
you're right.
Yeah. I think the big narrative, story, NPCs, voice actors, that whole thing is very expensive in an open world game. The mechanics, the whole thing. I think I think the market shifted to survival stuff. And I think those games, the Winged Roses of the world.
Yeah, I think it's downstream of two things. The thing you said, which is that the survival stuff has definitely taken over some of that mind share of the audience. But it's also the thing that we've talked about before, which is that there is no middle of this industry anymore. Like, it barely exists. The AA space is something that is barely a funded concern these days outside of the whatever the greater embracer larger group is.
Right.
Yeah, totally. Like the middle tier open world games kind of went away along with every other middle tier genre.
They might be out there.
Sad.
You might just not know about them because it's also impossible to break through with your mid tier open world
unless
game.
you really break through all of a sudden.
Yeah.
God, everything was an open world game for a while there.
Oof.
Yeah.
Like, remember that
stuff that probably didn't need to be.
Like, there was that Naruto open world game on the 360.
Yep.
Like, I ended up playing games that I couldn't even give. I don't care about that property, but I played it because
cool.
it was an open world game, and sometimes you just want to sink on the couch and just Naruto run your way around, checking off side quests.
I think the poster game for that movement for me is Jack 2. Like, that has like the platformer to open world. I'm on a hover motorcycle.
I went back and read my review of Jack 2 not that long ago and cringed my way through the whole thing. But yes, that game was absolutely GTA 3 is the biggest thing in the world. Well, shit.
Yeah, right. Let me carjack.
Let's give this guy an evil goatee and some guns.
Yeah,
and let you steal hoverboards from people.
I guess
he always had the goatee. I don't know, but
that series, that's one that I doubt will come back.
Nope.
Speaking of ones that,
well, I mean, unless they gave it to somebody else, but at that point, again, like I'd kind of say the same thing of like, what is a Jack game without Naughty Dog making it?
yeah, you think anybody in Naughty Dog even wants to make a Jack game?
I don't know how many people are even still there from.
That's more my concern.
Like how many? I mean, I know some people at Naughty Dog who've been there for a very long time, but I wonder how many people are still there who even worked with Andy Gavin or Jason Rubin at this point. Probably not many.
What's going on with like? I know Insomniac is doing their superhero stuff, but like, are we ever going to get them to come back and do any other stuff like what was that alien one, that alien invasion shooter one that they did?
Resistance?
Yes. Never?
Nope.
Has the world just moved on? Have people just found their money makers and they're just going to...
Yeah, I mean, Resistance is a product of the Halo era.
Yeah.
Like Resistance was we need a Halo killer and everybody's going to take a stab at it.
Including Sony with multiple games.
Yeah. There's something like that's like a little bit of my nostalgia, because I think around that time we were doing Giant Bomb and graphics started looking, games were being promoted
Yep.
You know, on the fidelity was getting there, and there was just a lot of really interesting stuff happening at that time. Again, biased because of the Giant Bomb stuff too, but that era of not quite also ran, but everybody making those types of games sticks in my mind as a fun time to be playing a lot of games.
The crazy thing, the humbling thing is the nostalgia for that period is really ramping up, like among people who were children at that time.
Oh,
like you're starting to see some of the first signs now in the way that people were nostalgic about pixel art for a long time and made a bunch of pixel art looking indie games. Currently, the like looks like a PlayStation 1 game is what's really in fashion.
Yeah, early 3D.
But you're starting to see people being wistful for everything looking piss green and yellow and gray and brown now. Genuinely.
We dug
like
too deep.
Occasionally see people going like, why did every game look like this back in 2007? And it's like every single color palette is those colors. And you start seeing people making affirmative justifications for that look. Like you start seeing people say like, yeah, it's because it gave it this aesthetic quality that was like you. It's just 1,000% the thing where whatever you grew up with, like retroactively, there's going to be some justification for why it was great.
I think so. Just to put a pin in it, right? Okay, Resistance, Killzone.
Mm-hmm.
Who else was just trying their hand? And so Killzone is Guerrilla, right? And so they've moved on to Forbidden West, Horizon. And Insomniac is printing money with Spider-Man games and, you know, Lord knows what else. Wolverine. Who else took a stab at it and did okay?
Advent Rising, though not a first-person shooter, was definitely in the we are trying to do a Halo thing, albeit in a third-person action game setting.
Yes, like they full-on went and announced a trilogy of games before the first one had come out.
Who was that? Who was that?
That was Donald Mustard, published by Majesco. I can't remember. I forget what his company was called at the time.
Yeah, but that was the Mustard studio.
Okay. It wasn't Chair then, was it?
It might have been.
Were they Chair when they were making Advent Rising?
I think they were Chair still.
I can't remember.
Are they still around?
No, he ran Fortnite for Epic for a very long time and then retired not too many years ago.
Okay.
Haze?
Yeah, Haze. 1,000,000% of Haze is in that fucking vein.
So who developed Haze?
Oh, God.
Jonathan Davis from Korn.
That's right. Who did? It was a Free Radical. God, that's right.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of, we're hearkening back to last week in multiple ways here because Free Radical is the Time Splitters developer.
That's right. Activate this property.
I had completely repressed the memory that Free Radical made Haze.
Haze. My nectar knife. Okay. Well, we should probably move on before we bake our brains.
God, David Doak, full on, man, he directed that. Wow. Okay. That's...
What we're basically talking about is like helmet sci-fi shooter games.
Yes.
Games where you have cool helmet. There is a specific
the
gun
helmet
type.
off somebody, maybe.
Yeah.
It wasn't all Halo, of course. Call of Duty was huge at this point too. So it was just first-person shooters on consoles were the thing.
Everywhere. everywhere.
There's
and
probably
cover mechanics were
Yeah,
Let's just
and-
call
and
them helmet shooters from now on.
third-person shooters as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I bet there are probably. I mean, Crysis is in there, kind of like. There's probably way more or shooters generally from that era that we could possibly ever.
Far Cry was
recount.
doing a thing. It was trying to figure itself out. Far Cry always felt like it was like, oh yeah, we're a shooter, but we do weird shit. Was it okay? This is going to be a contentious thing to say, but was it Killzone, one of the first ones where if you ducked behind cover and aimed, the gun would pop over the cover and go
First
back?
Killzone or second one?
Oh, I'm thinking 2. I'm thinking Killzone. In my memory, Killzone 2 had one of those. I think first-person shooters are great when they do that. If you're just ducked behind something or at the side of a wall, the gun should pop over the side when you aim. I remember it in I remember it in a Killzone, and that seemed like a cool thing. I remember being like, "Oh shit, you don't even have to pop up; you just aim over it."
Shooters that decouple the gun movement from the look movement have always fascinated me, even though it's not necessarily my favorite way to play. Like just even if it's as simple as just like the gun like lags your and just animation wise, like the gun lags your head moving around.
Talking like original Bond, like GoldenEye.
Well, GoldenEye in some cases you could straight up aim the gun independently, which is even crazier.
That's crazy, yeah.
But even if it's just a presentation thing of the gun just kind of like moves a little bit independently, even if you're not controlling it. Like the Riddick, I want to say Riddick Butcher Bay had something in that vein as
really?
well, if I recall.
Okay. I remember Riddick went to third person when you climbed ladders, and I was like, "That's smart."
Yep,
that's a smart move.
Just to tie this whole thing together, there was, I don't know if this is full on like information gathering on me is influencing my social media algorithms or whatever, but we talked about all this stuff recently, and sure, maybe I Googled some stuff, but sure enough, here was a thread about GoldenEye recently with people who worked on it chiming in, such as David Doak.
Oh.
And I don't remember if it was him or somebody else in this thread who full on credited the way GoldenEye turned out to Virtua Cop.
Oh.
That a lot of the interesting things about the way GoldenEye works and the animations and the way the enemies react to hits and stuff was that they started out wanting to make a game like Virtua Cop and were trying to replicate the way that game works.
I could see it.
Yeah.
And then it ended up going full first-person shooter, like free movement and everything, and not just a light gun style game, but they still kept a lot of the like real exaggerated enemy hit reactions and stuff because they had just been trying to do Virtua Cop.
I could see it.
It's so wild how so many of the signature elements of games just came out of like random chance and random inspiration and shifts in project direction and all kinds of stuff.
Is Virtua Cop pre-Time Crisis?
Yes. Don't quote me on that, but it has to be, right?
I feel like Time Crisis is the one I always go to as
actually. Yeah, maybe not. First Virtua Cop is 94. Time Crisis maybe a little 95, so they're like around the same time.
Okay. Did Time Crisis 1 have a pedal you could push to duck
in the arcade?
Or yeah.
I believe, I don't know if I've ever seen a Time Crisis in the arcade, but I think it did.
I like vaguely remember. I don't know if it's Time Crisis 2, maybe. I don't know.
Like one of them did. At least.
The ducking mechanic absolutely is the core. That's the Time Crisis thing. But I don't remember how you controlled it, though. I think it varied.
Okay. Like I thought there was like a little like a steel.
I think you might be. I think you might be right. In the arcade, it had a pedal.
Okay.
I think like I'm having to remind myself here. Like the Gun Con just had a button on it. I think that did the ducking.
Okay. All right. Anyway,
they made 5 Time Crisis games.
Damn. What was the last one?
Time Crisis 5 True Mastermind from August 2015.
2015.
Yeah,
all right.
It's pretty. What did that even come out on?
It's a Dave and Buster's.
Please
special.
don't tell me it was a fucking iPhone game or something.
It's a Roblox exclusive.
Unlike its predecessors, the game uses 2 pedals.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I
guess that answers the question. Probably had a pedal in one. All right. I think that's going to do it for the news and that little side step into nostalgia land. But that's not going to do it for the Nextlander Train O content. Alex Navarro, we are wrapping up our little documentary mini-series here, our docu-month-ish, but not quite done with the documentaries. Why don't you tell folks what we have and what's on tap?
Yeah, we are bridging the gap, as I often like to do. I like to find my little bridge points here and there. But yes, we are doing one more documentary this month that will go up next week, and that is Trekkies, the 1997 documentary, specifically because we are going to do Star Trek Season 3 when I get back from SGF, which will be middle of June. And if you want to go listen to our Apollo 11 episode, it's up for patrons right now.
That's right. That's right. The Apollo 11 stuff, I'll just say again, man, that footage looks good. That's a good looking footage.
It's a good looking film.
That might be the most we have ever talked about individual footage in any Watchcast discussion we have done.
It's really extraordinary.
Yeah.
Just the
I think like the Discord thread on that Watchcast has just been full of people going like, "Oh my god, I can't believe what this looked like. I thought you guys were overhyping it, but oh my god."
Yeah, it's really intense. So that's the Watchcast. You can go check that out on the Patreon. Like I mentioned before, we are continuing with our Directive 8020 playthrough. We will most definitely finish by next week. So if you want to catch up, go check that out. And then later this week, we have a patron's choice. And last we checked, I think trucking looked like it was on the menu.
Yeah.
You never know what the patrons are going to pick.
First Light is not too far behind, but...
Oh, really? See, sometimes there's a thing in my head where I'm like, hey, I kind of really want to see one of the things that you guys put on. That's a really good one. So I'm going to put something that I think would be fun to play for sure, but maybe not as novel or exciting. Like this is definitely, and the thing I don't want to get into is the goofy. Here's a little side story. Ready? Here's a little trip down memory lane before we move on. When we were first doing UPF stuff, the idea was we were supposed to just bring something that we were going to play anyway for UPF.
Yeah.
The idea was to be as low threshold a show as possible. Just bring something you would have played anyway on a Friday.
Yeah. Or also just like, oh, it's the end of Friday. It's the end of the week. Everybody's about to quit, like get off work for the weekend. Like just something chill. You want to play Geometry Wars for half an hour? You want to like go for some achievement, like whatever. Just
I'm gonna play Castlevania. This is the game I'm playing.
Let's just chill. Let's just slide people into the weekend.
And then as time went on, it sort of escalated and became this weird arms race of you have to find the weirdest, most obscure thing possible for a UPF segment, something that you would never play in a million years on your own. But here we are together, and Patron's Choice, it's just kind of a similar thing. It's like, hey, I've got a couple of things, or we've got a couple of things, and sometimes things are weirder and fun, and we want to make something exciting. And sometimes it's like, hey, here's the thing that I would like to play on Friday, but it's up to you to choose. And it sounds like you might be choosing trucking. What state are we looking at, Alex?
What's that?
What's the state for trucking?
Well, Illinois is the newest one, but
okay.
Some people have said now that Illinois is done, I can technically drive the entire length of Route 66 if I want to.
Oh, that's fun.
Or the in-game version of it. And hey, I mean, we can always team up, Vinny. You can convoy up if you want.
That's true. So if you're listening to this, you might still have some time left to vote if you would like to see trucking, if you would like to see First Light, or Brad, if you'd like to see.
I don't think Dusklight is going to make it.
Explain to people what Dusklight, because that's the one I thought was going to win.
Yeah, I guess tastes differ. I don't know. I felt pretty good about it. maybe not a widely held opinion. Dusklight is a decompilation of Zelda Twilight Princess. Like or to cut to the chase, it is basically a modern PC port of Zelda Twilight Princess.
And I was like, well, that'll definitely win.
Without getting into too many of the technical details, it is a way of basically porting the game to, it actually runs on anything. Now, you can play this on your iPhone or Android tablet or MacBook or $10,000 Windows Super PC. Like, they have ported Twilight Princess to literally everything you can, except for the Switch, it turns out.
Well, to be fair, this is not an official Nintendo thing.
Yes. No. This is a fan project. I was digging through the documentation, though. They actually have I kind of laughed. They have a special note in there. No, we have no plans to port this to the Switch. And they give some pretty legitimate technical reasons for that.
Okay.
But also, I'm sure getting that running, or not, rather, excuse me, making sure you don't get that running on Nintendo's actual platform is probably a good way to not have the eye of Nintendo turn on you.
It's true. Well, maybe for another time, just because it doesn't get voted on here doesn't mean it won't show up.
There's a pretty robust Jack and Daxter decomp port to PC, good. As far as I know, as well.
The first one.
I think it's only the first one so far. I have not seen. They might have done the newer ones now. I don't know.
All right, well, we'll see. Let's say that, hey, plenty of Fridays in a month. We'll see. Like I said, you can go to the Patreon to go check those options out. And if you're there, you might be in the voting tier. You can go vote. Plenty of other stuff going on the Patreon as well. We've got Never Been a Better podcast going up on this Friday, where we talk some car stuff, we talk some house stuff, we talk pinball. Bacalar's there with Abby Russell. We talk about that new Transformers pinball table and all the things it should and should not be, and what is and is not, apparently. We've got the Ramblecast up there, where we do our, I'd say we could probably get into this maybe 1 or 2 times a year, or we're not stoned space conversations. Do aliens question mark. That's over on the Ramblecast. You can check that out on the Patreon as well. Like Alex said, Watchcast stuff, get it first on the Patreon, and also the Planorama and all the other stuff that's up there. Aside from all of those things that are on the Patreon is also the best way to support us and keep us going. You can find a tier on the Patreon that suits you, get access to a bunch of goodies on there, and at the same time keep us going and help us pay people to come on and support us and keep us moving forward here. There are a bunch of tiers on the Patreon, but there is only one tier that gets their names read on this here show, and I'm going to read them for you today. It's the Mysterious Benefactors tier, and here we go. Starting with Roasted Mechanical Spider, sending Drew Scanlon good vibes about fatherhood.
Whoa.
Uh-huh.
Shit.
Congratulations, Drew.
Yeah.
And family. Alpha Rhythm, Infelicitous Rips, David L., Kelly F., Brian Lucier, Skywarp, Jason Grimm, John Hubbard, Thordreen, Evan Cook, Jerry Lee. Deirdre returns to the unemployment mines. Sorry, Deirdre. Best of luck out there. Pugtato. Pup is my name. Hashtag Bunny for work. Jad Rita. Statics. Maybe today's the day it happens. Brian Murphy. Randy Duax. Randy Alderson. Andrew Tiebkin. Alex Wu. It's me, JP. Edward Chick. Steve Lynn. David Campos. And Tyler Treese. I wonder if any of the Mysterious Benefactors, and we thank you very much, Mysterious Benefactors. Again, a lot of names on there burned into the heads and listeners of the Nextlander podcast. If anybody's ever listening to the podcast and is on the other end of a hiring cycle, and you're not an AI, if they would ever recognize a name, right? If you were just like, I'm sure Deirdre would not use one of her many names they use on here, but it would be pretty funny if that's ever happened. I mean, we have had stories where people have recognized some names.
I can see it.
We'll just chalk that up to a possible benefit of being a Mysterious Benefactor, aside from being one of the best ways of supporting Nextlander. So thank you very much to our Mysterious Benefactor, and thank you very much to everyone who has supported us over at patreon.com/Nextlander. Couldn't do it without you, Alex Navarro. You're going to be leaving us in a little while. You got one more week?
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm going for basically a few days as far as work time is concerned. So
a few days. When was the last time you were at like a E3-ish thing?
2019.
Man, was it E3? Was it actually?
It was E3.
Yeah. So you've not done a Summer Game Fest?
No.
Okay. Excited?
Yeah.
It's been a while since you've done the meet and greet appointment.
I can tell you from experience, it's kind of nice to just get out there and see people again.
Yeah.
Like I've been to the last two. Like there are people I hadn't seen in pushing 20 years that I ran into that was just like, oh man, like I worked with you on Halo 2 or something. Like you're the person that sent us assets. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. It's like, wow. People, it's nice to see people.
Yeah.
They're still around.
It's more just, do I remember how to socialize in large groups? Let's find out.
There is that for sure.
Look, I'm sure everybody's still figuring it out. And I'll be curious to hear what the vibe is. It's like we have said for a couple of years, the industry kind of uncharted waters here. So curious to see what some reporting on the ground sounds like. Brad, you and I will be around for when that comes. We'll probably be talking over some opening game night, opening night live, ONL. Is that
that's Gamescom. I think they just call it
Summer Game Fest live time.
I forget if there's a name for the stream on this one.
The Keeley 1,
like
not
Play
the Keeley
Days.
2.
Yeah, like Play Days is technically the name of the thing Alex is going to.
Right.
But I've been to. I don't think I don't think there's a name for the stream on this one.
Maybe it's just Summer Game Fest.
The live showcase events is what this website says.
So yeah, we'll be around for that and join us for that. Again, getting a little ahead here. We still got another week, but time. People are announcing things. Stuff are starting to come out. Thanks again for joining us. Hopefully you can join us for some more of our streams and come join us on Friday for our Patrons Choice stream. Open to all. The patrons vote, but man, that's open to everyone. You want to come join us there on Twitch on Friday. Thanks again, Alex Navarro.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad Shoemaker.
Thank you.
And thanks to everyone for supporting and listening. We'll be back next week.